guys, Nick here. You're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com, a weekly live show about video games. We're proud to say that we've been at this since 2008 and have remained 100% independent since day one, and that means you'll never have to hear a sponsored ad on this show. So if you want to support what we do, all we ask is that you consider making our silly little show part of your weekly rotation. You can tune in when we record these episodes live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out. If that's not your thing, though, you can also subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast service, join our community Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, send us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. And that's it for shameless self-promotion. Time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of video games. Let's get started. Alright, hey everybody, welcome to what is possibly the last episode of 4Player Podcast in 2025. I think because we're a week out from Christmas, so I would imagine you won't find us here next week. But
and then New Year's, and then after that.
Yeah. So I don't know when we'll be recording again. So this is probably our last regular show of the year.
See you
welcome
next year.
You're supposed to do that at the end, Brad. You're supposed to save the lame jokes for the end.
Sorry.
But anyways, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded our last show, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I should introduce everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nick Henderson. I'm joined, as always, by Brad Simons.
That's me.
Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
And Christopher Davis.
I'm also here. Good evening.
And we're here to talk about video games. Before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. I just want to let everybody know. I've talked a little bit about it in the general channel, I think, or maybe the feedback channel in Discord. I'm not sure. We're making some changes at the beginning of the year. We got some stuff in the works as far as the way our website works, which is, for reasons I'm not going to bore you with, but it's going to be a lot leaner and a lot cleaner, and we're going to have some new stuff to show you guys on hopefully January 1st is what I'm aiming for, but we'll see. But I just wanted to kick off the year in an exciting way, so we're going to do that. So keep your eyes peeled, and you might end up seeing a kind of like a temporary splash page go up in between while we transition. So if you go to 4playernetwork.com and it's not there in the traditional sense, don't panic, is all I'm saying. But yeah, we're going to continue into 2026 talking about video games as we always do. And we'll continue to record these on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. But of course, the most important thing is if you're listening and you want to be a part of the community in any way, shape, or form, you should be in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. It's by far the most active place to find our community and hang out. So keep that in mind, and we hope to see you there. But
certainly ain't Twitch chat, am I right?
It certainly isn't Twitch chat, which is sometimes
these fuckos in the Discord need to come over and chat with us, because we ain't looking at the Discord when we podcast.
Yeah, well, there are. I should point out, we do have people that pretty regularly pop.
Yeah, like a sheep who
chat.
says the quesarito is back, motherfuckers. Hit up your local Taco Bell,
dude. I
had
Taco
ever
Bell
had a
recently for the
quesarito.
first time.
Remember when the quesarito was app only? Those were dark days.
Can I just say that Taco Bell is fucking disgusting?
Oh, it is.
This motherfucker's always crashing out at our virtue signaling. And
but that's like saying Waffle House is disgusting. It's like, that's the point. That's kind of the charm.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I suppose that's fair.
And the salt, let me tell you, they put so much salt.
They do.
Blood pressure.
Quesarito.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have
that's what I
to
was
think about
trying
my
to-
fucking blood pressure these days. So, like,
Okay,
Chris
that's
Davis,
fair.
what are you eating?
right now,
What'd you order?
fucking nothing. I haven't
What are
eaten
you
today.
ordering? You're ordering food. I want to know what you're ordering.
I'm in the boonies, man. I've got two options. It's either Taco Bell or KFC.
Damn.
So, like, you're
Have
giving
you-
this dude shit about Chipotle, and you're about to eat KFC? You're about to put
difference is
KFC into your body?
The difference is I have not eaten today, and Nick has like 3 meals a day.
That is bullshit.
What does that mean? You
I
eat
have
one meal a
had-
day, and it's KFC, and you're shaming Nick?
Thank you, Brad. Thank you. Coming to my defense.
Hey, I like KFC. That's pretty good.
Fuck you, dude. KFC sucks ass, dude. It's like
Dude,
the worst
okay.
chicken,
All
fast
right,
food
fine,
chicken.
fine,
It
fine.
is. That's
Again,
factually
this
true.
is-
Yeah.
This is the Waffle House thing again. This is like you're totally
There are
missing the forest
other
for the
fast food
trees,
chicken
my dude.
places. No,
Yeah,
dude.
you're
Yeah,
talking about
and none
Raising
of them
Cane's.
are pressure cooked KFC chicken. 11 herbs and spices. It's like nobody else does it like that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That is the only place where I will go to the drive-through, smell the smell coming out of like the building, and like
And leave.
and feel like I don't think I could do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It
I don't
That's
smells
the
know.
only one
so
you're telling me?
like it just smells like so much like old grease. Every KFC, so
Buddy,
much.
old
You want to talk
grease.
about
I
the
mean,
like the
every chicken
audacity?
place smells like that.
No,
Yeah.
like they don't dump the grease ever.
Can I just tell
Okay.
you, in
Well,
college, I'll never forget this. I went to there's a long story attached to this. I won't bore you with right now. But I ended up going to a KFC with my roommate, and I'll never forget it because we walked up to the counter, and there was just a guy hosing down the wall, like in the back, like behind the counter. Like, so all I was focused on. So I was like, what is going on in this KFC?
It's
And that's like
grease. It's grease.
Yeah.
like hosing the grease off the wall.
It
of the
coats
KFC.
everything, dude.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. But hey, you got to eat.
yeah, you got to eat, but
He's probably got like crackers or something in his house. He doesn't need to eat KFC, especially
actually
after the
don't
shit he
have-
was talking earlier about everybody's food choices.
Such a
I just
Weird.
wanted to say, Chris Davis, what I was
such a
trying to
brave
articulate.
position.
What I was trying to articulate earlier is that you can be in a position where you have to think about your blood pressure or your cholesterol, whatever. But the moment you start to talk about it on the regular and shame other people about it is the moment we stop doing this podcast, because we're officially just we're not.
Hey, look,
You can't.
I turned 40, okay? That gives me certain privileges of shit to talk about, all right?
No, but the insanity is you just said, I have to think about my blood pressure these days when talking about Taco Bell, and then he said he's about to eat KFC. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Am I losing my mind? No,
No,
one's
you're not.
seeing
You're not.
how absurd that is? Let's move on.
You're not. Yeah, we're moving on. I ate at a Quiznos for the first time.
They
Those
still
don't
exist?
anymore. You're fucking
They're-
lying, dude.
There is
You're
one
fucking-
5 minutes from my house, and Robin and I went to HEB, and we were like, we don't want to like go home and cook right now after work, after going to the grocery store. So like, what have we tried the Quiznos? We've always joked about going to the Quiznos because like,
Dude, that's so bad for you, though. Your cholesterol, Nick.
shut the.
Probably is.
I hate this fucking.
Don't let Brad do this to you. He is. Not a
It's
doctor.
not me.
He's
He was
not
the one
only not
virtue
a doctor.
signaling. He was the one virtue signaling.
I just want to say that if you're at all curious what it's like going into a Quiznos in the year 2025, it's kind of like going into a GameStop in 2025. Like it's like the
They sell
GameStop.
like
It's like
Funko Pops.
no. I'm talking about just like the level, like how depressing it is.
Probably not that
Like
far off,
like
though.
just the enthusiasm and like the just the attitude of.
Do they
know
toast
what I
your
mean? It's-
sub?
That's
They do
Can
still
we
toast your
fucking
sub,
talk
yeah.
about Metroid? Anything?
I'm trying to really just torture the shit out of you, Brad, by not talking about Metroid. Okay, fine. Brad's
No,
been
I mean,
waiting for weeks.
We can talk about routine first,
Brad
but we
hates
got to get
Metroid
on.
No.
4. Let's talk about it.
Metroid
No.
4 is, I guess, Metroid Fusion, technically.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
4.
Dread is 5.
I like Metroid Fusion.
Dread
so I don't
Dread
know
was
what you're
pretty
talking
good. All right, seriously. Brad has been chomping at the bit. Obviously, we didn't do a podcast
Brad
last week.
hates
Champing
and
at the
Metroid
bit.
Prime 4. Let's
he has
talk
been
about it.
he has
about.
played
Wait, why does he think I hate Metroid Prime 4?
Let's
So,
talk about
like,
it.
the internet hates Metroid Prime 4. I
Let's
don't know if
talk
you've
about
noticed, right? Like, Metroid Prime comes out, and it
I
scores
would-
like a 80 fucking 1 on Metacritic, Open Critic. What is that? What are we at? Like an 80?
I think it's an 81. Last time I checked, it was an 81.
So,
which was
like,
earlier today.
we all saw that and we were like, oh shit, that's not cool. I
I mean,
guess
it's
there's
definitely
some
not the norm
problems
for the
here, right?
series.
But like,
Yeah.
if you go onto the internet where people are actually playing and talking about Metroid Prime 4, people who have finished Metroid Prime 4, they are talking about it not like it's an 8 out of 10, 80 out of 100. They're talking about like it's like dog shit, like a 6 out of 10 dog shit.
Which seems hyperbolic.
Well, that's the thing. That's kind of what I want to call out a little bit. I get that people are disappointed. And that makes people say crazy things, but people are acting like it beat up a small child. I don't think that Metroid Prime 4 did all that. I will say The interesting thing about
If the
Metroid
glove
Prime
don't
4
fit, he must have quit.
is the story line of the reveal of Metroid Prime 4. Do you remember when we first saw Metroid Prime 4 after all these
I
years?
do.
They're saying,
I
here it is,
do.
baby. It was a game that got, announced in 2017, the year the Switch came out. Like 2 years later was like rebooted. Like they said, this shit ain't coming together. We're restarting development, which no one truly knows who was originally developing that first version of the game, but it wasn't Retro Studios. They were working on something else that got canceled. And I think it wasn't coming together, so they had Retro sub in to make a new Metroid Prime 4. And I'm really wondering how much of that original game that got canceled like made its way into this game, but I guess
I
we'll
mean, you
talk
have
about
to
that in a
imagine
second.
there was gonna be there had to have been some crossover, right? Like you don't abandon development on a project and just scrap all of it. You try to you try to save some
Yeah,
of that.
but like remember, this is like a restarted game at a different studio though. So like there might be nothing left of that original game.
I mean, we'll never know.
This is a game that this is a story. Well, you say we'll never know, but
Well,
one of the
there's
things
ways
that
that we
I've
might end
seen
up
a
knowing.
lot on like the internet lately was former Retro Studios employees, like kind of going deep on like the history of that studio, which has like a really fucking rocky history, like from the jump. It's actually crazy. We're not going to get into all that. The trailers, the first trailer we saw, it was just Metroid Prime ass looking Metroid Prime. There's basically nothing to it. Like, Samus was like shooting some space pirates or some shit, charge beam. It looked like Metroid goes into Morph Ball. We're like, oh, well, Metroid Prime's back. But my take back then was like, well, I mean, I'm glad it's back, but it's pretty
It
unexciting. And that started the trend of like, oh, well, maybe they're just bad at making trailers. And then months pass and there was another trailer. And this was the one that showed like Samus with like, she's got psychic abilities, right? Except then they showed the psychic abilities and it was like, you can throw an orb in a slot or you
wait,
can
was this
open a
was the
door. You could open a door with her psychic hand. Remember
was
that
this the
trailer?
trailers from 2017 or was this trailer from
No, no,
recently?
no, no. This is like from the re-reveal most recently, right?
Okay.
And and we're watching those trailers, and I got a lot of Brad, you're a Debbie Downer, and I'm like, nah, I just think it's a bad trailer or whatever. And like these powers, they look pretty uninspired, right? Do you remember that? Like the most exciting
I
thing in
do
that
recall,
trailer
yeah.
was that she can steer the beam like fucking Twing Twang or like the beetle from Skyward Sword. And we're
Ring
like,
twang.
oh, well, at least that's different. But everything else was like she could open doors or like open gates. It was not very exciting.
Not
And
super
people were
inspired.
kind of like, do we need to worry about this? That seemed pretty uninspired. But the word on the street was like, well, at least it's Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime's good. Metroid Prime's back. Even if it's not the most mind blowing Metroid Prime game, it ain't going to be Breath of the Wild. That's fine. I'm just glad Metroid Prime's back. And then there's the trailer with the motorcycle and it driving around in the desert, running over crystals, some light desert combat. And everyone's like, I don't know if I like this. This world looks kind of empty. The graphics are kind of iffy in the desert. Like it seems like it's really empty and you don't really do much. And I don't know if I want to be riding around on a motorcycle and just running over crystals. People were kind of like, I don't know about that, right? And then we get to the Miles McKinsey trailer, and everyone loses their fucking minds. Oh no, oh no! Who cares about what I said about that other shit? Like that was just me being, grumpy on the internet. This is actual terror. I'm actually scared now. What are they doing? What are they doing? And
I do
you
recall,
know,
yes.
yeah, yeah, right. And that's kind of the history of the re-reveal of Metroid Prime, and now it's here. And let me tell you, all of like from the jump, every step of the way, we were kind of right about all of it, except the Miles McKinsey one. We were over exaggerating a little. Like it's not. It wasn't the tragedy that we were worried about, but from like, oh, this looks really generic. These powers look really boring. This desert seems really empty. Like all like they weren't hiding anything is what I'm trying to say. What they showed
Dang.
in those like
Okay.
basically those 4 different trailers is what this game is. Which is not
Oof.
what was like, you know, Tears of the Kingdom. We were like, what is this
I'm
game? What is this
I
game? And
feel
then
like
they
I'm
dropped a
waiting for the
banger
other shoe
trailer.
to drop.
And all this to say, and all
You
of
have
those
played a
things
lot of this.
actually are kind of troubling, but there's other things that are troubling too that we didn't see. But here's the good news: the game runs incredibly well. It looks fucking gorgeous. Like between this and Donkey Kong and like Mario Kart World, like those were like Mario Kart World looked really nice, but it's like, oh, but it's like Mario Kart, right? You know, of course it looks nice. Mario Kart always looks nice. Then Donkey Kong comes out, we're like, oh, this looks great, but like you can tell, like, well, what they're getting out of this, the power of the Switch 2 is like the
The
tech, right?
environmental
Like the
destruction.
the
Yeah.
destructibility. They're able to do crazy shit because this Switch 2 is way more powerful than the Switch 1. And then this game comes out and it's like, you know, in handheld mode, it runs at 120 FPS. Like this game is gorgeous and it's like smooth and it's like you're not used to this from Nintendo. You haven't been like this for a very long time. It's nice. It's like you almost forget it's a handheld. Like I'm not used to Metroid looking this good. And you know, checkbox, right? Checkbox. It plays great. I would say that the combat feels amazing. It might be like the best feeling combat out of all of them. It's hard to say with like Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which was doing cool stuff in combat, but so much of it was like motion control and like Wii pointer stuff. Here you don't have that. There is some like gyro, like you know, you can lock on but still aim around and like shoot projectiles and stuff, kind of like they did in Metroid Prime 3. But like this stuff feels great. Like, you know, your charge beam feels punchy and your missiles feel even punchier and like that kind of stuff is really good. And in fact, I would say that like even there might be like a little extra depth. Like I like how and I'm not looking at the stream, but I probably should in case I want to like point out something that like maybe lines up with what I'm talking about. But like I do really like the way the combat feels because I feel like some of the other ones like they had different elemental beams, but like they were just like slightly getting more powerful and they weren't really like serving a purpose. But here, you know, I'm switching to my fire beam to do some like damage over time. I'm switching to my, you know, like lightning beam to do some like crowd control because it can like, you know, branch to like multiple enemies. And I'm shooting my missiles when I want to like knock things down, you know? Like you fight these robots. I don't know if I've come across any of the robots in the footage, but it's kind of a new like vibe of an enemy for like a Metroid Prime game, and they are really annoying and can be difficult. But it's very much like fucking Boston Dynamics or Robotics. What was that fucking you know where they're always like knocking over robots
The
and shit?
dog
Like
thing.
they do this thing where like you could shoot all your firepower and missiles at these robots, but they'll just tank that shit. But if you freeze them first and knock them over with a missile, you can like chain that shit. Like you're not getting up, dude. It just like missile, and they're like struggling to get up because they're fucking robots. Like that's pretty cool because like that's honestly the best way to handle it because otherwise they'll just tank your shit and fuck you up. Like combat in this game, bosses and enemy rooms that are like pretty nasty can be pretty like challenging. Like I had like a fair number of overs from just getting bested in combat, which is kind of nice, right? Like it's nice to have, you know, Dread was I think refreshing because it was challenging. This, you know, similarly so, you know, it's the kind of thing where I want to you come across an energy tank and like it feels good, right? Like, oh, I just got 100 more health. I feel like I really need that because I just lost that long boss fight twice in a row and that sucks, right?
But
And the bosses
so
are good. The bosses are
I've
good. Um,
wait,
you know, yeah.
So I've only ever played the first Metroid Prime, and then
Okay.
of course various other 2D Metroids.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe I'm misremember. Like I feel like combat was never kind of like a highlight in
In
Metroid
what? In like a
Prime. In
3D
Metroid,
Metroid?
yeah, in
Well,
Metroid
you've
Prime
only
was
played
that?
Metroid Prime, the first one, where I would
Yeah,
say like combat. I mean, it was definitely there was a lot of combat in that game. You did finish Prime,
I did finish Prime, but I feel like
like
I
that
just
was
feel
a
like this conversation is building to like the combat's really great, but like the things that I really care about, which in this
no.
case would be like level design,
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get to
sucks.
that. But like there's a lot of combat in all the Metroid Prime games. A lot of hard like those corruptions actually to me not that difficult. But Prime 1 and Prime 2 especially was like really challenging. So it was nice to see like hard combat encounters and hard boss fights. Like you really gotta be kind of swift on your feet and like dodging out of the way and or you're gonna, you take damage quickly in this game. And I like the way combat feels. Like it's a good thing. I mean it's a different like pace than like a Metroid Dread, obviously. Like
Right.
that's the other
I
one
mean,
that
their big
people have
thing
played
was
like most
the
recently, and that's a very fast paced game. Like
what was the
Prime,
creature called in Dread? Like the thing,
we're
like
not
the
talking about
kind of
Dread.
nemesis.
We're not talking about Dread.
Well,
You're talking about
okay.
the Emmy robot that would like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
chase you. Yeah,
Just
okay. It was cool. Dread's cool. But
Dread was cool.
yeah, I feel like that's just what you want to say. And I agree. Dread was cool.
Dread's cool.
but Prime. So combat's fun. It controls really well. You do a lot of like like I said, like aiming tweaking with like gyro controls, but that feels pretty good too. You really have to do that a lot in like boss fights and stuff. It's gorgeous, it runs great, the combat's good and fun, and it's just challenging enough. The music also, look, there's not going to be a Metroid Prime game. Like they know on the checklist of things they need to get right, that music is one of them, and they got it right. Like the soundtrack is fucking great. Um, there is one like really, really frustrating thing about the music in this game, and that's that. And we're about to get to the desert. But when you're in the desert, which is where you spend a large portion of this game, because it's like the Hyrule field of Metroid. If you've only played Metroid Prime 1, Nick, and I don't know about you, I know Crispy, you've played, and Chris Davis, for all I know, you've never played a Metroidvania game in your life. But
sir, how dare?
That's a very like interconnected like world. Like, it's like a Metroid game, like a Metroid-ass Metroid game where you can get to the different biomes like 8 different ways in some cases, like and you're finding different entrances and shortcuts and you're backtracking and
Those are the things I expect and
one
want.
of the things I did, so I finished Metroid Prime 4. I 100%ed it. I booted up Metroid Prime Remastered, and I'm like, I don't know, like 60% of the way through that game. I've been playing a lot of Metroid. And because I wanted like I didn't want to go into this conversation with fond memories of Metroid Prime because
you wanted to play them back to back.
I bought Metroid Prime Remastered, but I never popped it in. I was just like, well, I'm definitely going to own it. I'm definitely going to want to play Metroid Prime again one day. It's one of my favorite games, but I never actually played it, mostly because of this fucking podcast. We're always trying to keep up with new shit. And I'm like, why would I talk about Metroid Prime? I've played it several times before. Nothing new, right? But it served as a really nice refresher. I also mentioned, recent podcasts I've been playing Prime 3 through Prime Hack and stuff.
You have been playing a lot of Metroid. Holy shit.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Oh, real quick on the music thing, the desert. You get a motorcycle in this game. The motorcycle is cool. Motorcycles are cool. Samus on a motorcycle is cool. I really wanted it to be like the Arkham Knights like Batmobile, but it sure as shit ain't that. In that I wanted to be like heavily like a part of like your moment to moment gameplay, even if you're not always on it. It's sure as shit ain't that.
Like they had to redesign the game around this new interesting mechanic they added.
I don't know. I don't. So
no, I mean that's like what Arkham Knight did, right? Where they like
but successfully, didn't they?
Yeah,
Wouldn't you say they did that
successfully?
Okay.
Honestly.
Oh yeah.
No, that's kind of what
Dude,
I wanted.
I played that game
when
this
I
year.
saw the
it's
thing.
Still incredible.
Like, it is. That's a fucking sick ass game. Look, this ain't that though. And let me tell you. So if you've probably seen reviews, this ain't no Breath of the Wild. I'm wondering if like in 2017 Breath of the Wild comes out and it like sells way more than any Zelda game. Like maybe like in that first year probably already sold like twice as much as like the best selling Zelda game. Like it was crazy, right? That could, or in the first couple of years, that when they rebooted Metroid Prime, it could be to try to take a basic ass Metroid Prime game and turn it into something more like Breath of the Wild. If that
Guys,
was their goal here, they did not accomplish it. This feels like a
did
very unfinished game. If that's the case, the desert in this game, which by the way, everything that you go to, all the places you go to, are on the edge of this big wide desert map.
it's like
A
the
lot of people
Ocarina of
have,
Time Hyrule Field, where it's like
yeah,
everything's on the.
except I would
It's the hub.
say, I would say that like there's more going on in the Ocarina of Time Hyrule Field.
Damn, that's
Maybe not. Like there are shrines, and when I say there are shrines, there are like 5 of them. And when I say they're like shrines, they're like maybe the worst shrines in Breath of the Wild. Like puzzle shrines, but like very short, very simple, not much to them, and there's like 5 of them, which is a very weird vibe.
like to the point
All of
where
the
do you think it would have been better off if they had just scrapped the idea altogether?
I
If
mean,
they didn't make
absolutely. It, like the problem is not that like driving around the desert's not kind of a vibe, because it is. Motorcycles are cool. By the way, Samus's new biker suit, which I get in this footage. By the way, if you're watching this footage and you're trying to decide, I like Metroid Prime and this looks pretty cool, this is most assuredly, I think, the best dungeon in Metroid Prime 4. So if you like what you see, don't get too excited. Hold on. Because every dungeon is very different from the others. And some of them are dog water. Like some of them are bad. And when I say some of them, there's not even that many. There's like 5 total. One's a tutorial. One's this one.
And then there's 3 other not as good ones.
The
There's 3 other
desert,
dog
the
water.
desert is. There's not much to do out there.
Guys, did Breath of the Wild ruin us?
I had the Samus Amiibo. No,
That's not fair.
Breath of the Wild. It's not fair. Like to even bring up Breath of the Wild. That's not what that's going for.
But it's like it's made it
I'm not
impossible
joking
to
when
talk
I
about
say-
any Nintendo first party without talking about Breath of the Wild.
But what I'm saying is like it's insulting to Breath of the Wild to even like mention this open world. Like this is like the open world of Recore like mogs the shit out of this desert. Like this is not good. Like in terms of like a place to spend a lot of time, and you do spend a lot of time.
It's an
because
incomplete thought.
The worlds are not connected to each other. They're like kind of Zelda dungeons now, with like a big desert in between. That's not what Metroid is. Metroid is like, at least when it's good, like you played Metroid Prime.
I mean, if you played any Metroid-inspired game,
yeah, but
you
see,
know
by
that's
the
what
time,
Metroid is not.
but you also got to understand, like Metroid Prime 3, also what they weren't connected worlds. You were like flying from planet to planet on your ship, which was just a loading screen. But like even there, like you would move your ship around the map to different like landing sites for various reasons, and you're hopping back and forth. Like it does not feel good to move from like one area to another in this game. It takes a really long time with loading and like hidden loading, I should say. Transitions from out of the
squeezing
dungeon
between rocks
to your bike, like there are parts closer to the dungeons where in the dungeons where you can use your bike a little bit, but it's like speed restricted. It moves really slow, and you got to get past a lot of transition and loading before you're moving quickly on that bike. And that is weirdly frustrating because you do a lot of like back and forth to these areas. One thing I noticed popping in Metroid Prime Remastered this week and playing through a whole shit ton of it is in the first couple of hours of that game, you've already been to like 4 biomes. In like the first couple of hours, you are constantly moving from area to area, going from, the Chozo Ruins down to like Magmore, up into like the Phendrana Drifts, where you get one thing and now you're back to the fucking Talon Overworld and Magmore again, and then back to Phendrana. Like you're moving around that world, and it's it's connected via like multiple like elevators and stuff. I think that stuff's important to Metroid. Like,
and it ain't here.
It ain't here, but like in a way that is different. Like these areas feel like not you've probably heard that they're quite linear, which is a bad thing. It's a bad thing, When
it's true. You're saying that's true.
It doesn't take long in the first Metroid Prime for you to go into a room and there's like 4 exits, and you're like, maybe you can't go through like 2 of those like pretty obviously, and maybe even further, you realize that, oh, okay, only really one of these paths is the real way to go because I don't have an upgrade or something. But you're looking around and exploring it like you do a Metroidvania. Like, oh, I'm gonna come back to that. I gotta remember that door there. Or like, oh shit, that's kind of curious up there. Is this a puzzle I can solve now, or do I need to maybe come back? You're looking around the world, you're exploring it, and you're thinking about it like a Metroidvania. This you do not. You think about these areas as something you want to go through one time. You're gonna fight the boss, and you're never gonna come back, except you do have to go back. And the only reason you know to go back is because Miles McKinsey calls you on his radio and says, hey, maybe you should go back there with that new power up to that one dungeon. Maybe you should check it out. And like the only way you would know to go back there is, I mean, you really wouldn't. Because like they feel like Zelda dungeons, right? And who finishes the water temple and then like,
it's like, man, I can't wait to come back here.
Like, you know what? Let me go back to that water temple. I'm kind of curious now. Like they don't feel like that. They feel like bad Zelda dungeons. And there's two that are maybe okay. I mean, like Zelda, it's not an insult. Like Zelda dungeons are like amazing. That's why the Zelda series is great. They're not as good as like a Zelda dungeon, but like they feel like very weirdly like you're at a fucking, like they're linear. They don't feel like a space you're gonna inhabit.
Metroid,
And
it's like a
you go
self-contained
through,
puzzle kind of thing that you solve, and then that's it.
and then you're done. And going back to something like that feels like shit, as opposed to just like the fucking Talon overworld where your ship is at in Metroid Prime 1, and you're going back and forth like through that and like finding stuff in there and getting upgrades and like exploring it, and like the music is changing thematically. Like when she learns like fucking, like Metroid Prime is what I've discovered, and this is going to feel like a final thought, but it's not a final thought, is that Metroid Prime is a game that scored a 97 famously. It is one of the highest rated video games of all time. I played through most of Metroid Prime in the past few days, and it is a game deserving of that score. It is a all-timer, and it is one of the best video games ever made. Metroid Prime 2 is like a 94. Metroid Prime 3 is like a 90. Maybe that one's a smidge high. This game is an 80. And you know what? It kind of feels like an 80, which is a disappointment when Metroid Prime is a 97. But when people talk about this shit like it's a 60, like, shut the fuck up, okay? I know you're sad that it's not a 97. This is not a 60. It is still a good time. It runs great. It plays great. The music fucking whips, right? But like, it is not the kind of Metroid Prime experience that people who love Metroid Prime or Metroid Prime 2, even Metroid Prime Corruption to some extent, like wanted and like are maybe expected. Like, and like,
I mean, there's
always. Are you saying basically it's good, but that's bad because it needed to be great?
No, I don't think that's what he's saying.
I don't think it needed to be great. It needed to be like Metroid though, and this feels like a bad old Zelda game, and in the level design ways, dude.
What you're saying is Metroid Dread is a much better Metroid game.
What?
Metroid what you're Prime saying is Dread is a much better game.
Dread is a better video game than this.
Yeah.
But like there are ways where like Dread plays fucking amazing. It has like there are things 2D Metroid does that like even Metroid Prime can't do, right? Like those sick ass like shine spark secrets and stuff. Like Prime has never pulled that shit off, right? It is a different meal, and like they are extremely good at that. And Dread was really good at stuff like that. Like it was smooth, the combat was great, it was challenging. There was like good secrets, and the Shine Spark stuff is still like fucking goated, right? But like, like I thought like the soundtrack was really disappointing in Dread. And in a lot of places where like I think 2D Metroid nails the atmosphere, like in every single one, from the NES to the Game Boy to the Super Nintendo to the two that are on Game Boy Advance, like Metroid Dread dropped the ball with like atmosphere in ways that were like a little like unexpected. But whatever, we're not here to talk about Dread. I think it is a better
we are.
game. No, but
I love Dread.
So the thing is, I didn't hate the desert stuff. I liked being in the desert. I liked riding my motorcycle. I had the amiibo, which gives you 3 tracks to listen to. But remember what I said about the music in this game? It's really fucking good. It's like 2 of the themes from this dungeon and the boss of this dungeon. I think it's those tracks, which are like amazing tracks, really great for running around driving around the desert. And like running over those crystals, like you probably heard complaints about like, oh, at the end of the game you have to like go out into the desert and grind for crystals for like an hour or 2 hours or whatever. I heard a lot of talk about that, so I made like, oh, I'm just going to get a bunch of crystals on the way to each of my locations as the game. McKinsey makes me fucking backtrack to base camp every time I want to upgrade my suit. And I was enjoying the fucking music because I had the amiibo, and it feels shitty. But if you don't have the amiibo, it's like a very like there's like, it's like atmospheric, like
It's very
know,
like almost choir-like
it's
synth, something like that. It's very
no,
light,
no.
right?
No, when you're driving around, it's like Breath of the Wild. It's like barely there, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
It's
what I'm
like
saying.
mood. It's like mood
Mm.
setting, and it's like not. It's not good for a thing where you're spinning. Like it's almost arcadey the way you're driving, speeding around, and getting these crystals. Like you need bumping fucking music, bike music, Wild West music, something, right? This if you're on a futuristic Epona, you know, let me play the futuristic fucking Wild West theme that plays at the start of this fucking game, which is so good. The title track to this game kicks so much ass. I started New Game Plus. You're watching me play New Game Plus. Having the amiibo unlocks 2 more, like once you beat the game, you unlock 2 more tracks for your radio. And like, not only is one of them like an extended version of the title theme to this game, which is like some fucking Sergio Leone wannabe like synth shit. It's crazy good. And I mean, Sergio Leone's not synth, but I mean, it's that sort of like the good, the bad, and the ugly plus Metroid synth stuff, whatever. And it's great and perfect for riding a bike around in your cool ass biker suit.
So what you're telling me is that because
Also,
I don't have the amiibo, I'm fucked when I'm riding around on the
well,
motorcycle?
I mean, you could be fucked regardless. I don't know.
The
Like if you don't,
$30 amiibo.
I'm not doing it.
no, it didn't feel
I
good.
imagine
But I mean,
Samus
like
would
it
be
is.
listening to podcasts.
It is
while
Samus
she's on her
merchandise.
motorcycle.
It does
That's
suck.
fair.
It does really suck that that amiibo that you buy to get the music on the bike is not the bike amiibo. And in fact, she doesn't even have her cool bike suit on the amiibo. It's just her classic fucking
What?
Metroid Prime fucking various suit, whatever. It's really frustrating because I have so much merch already with Samus in that fucking suit. I didn't need another fucking overpriced amiibo in that suit, but whatever. So there's like 5 dungeons. Let's call them dungeons because they're not fucking spaces you inhabit and explore atmospherically like Metroid Prime. They're like dungeons. This one is probably the best one. The one after that, the Ice Belt, is pretty cool too. Especially because both of them have like kind of like a power on moment, right? Like quite literally in the Ice Belt, but like you're trying to restore power to like basically the dungeon essentially. And when you do, the actual like dungeon music like kicks in and it slaps, right? Like it kicks
Fucking
ass.
slaps.
And like it's very kind of like quiet and atmospheric, especially in the Ice Belt, like up until that point. So it's like a cool moment. But that's 2 dungeons. This one, which is the Volt Forge, where you build your bike and learn how to ride your bike, and 2 is the Ice Belt, where you're mostly, it's like it starts off like very slow and you're doing a lot of like reading logs and stuff, and then it
You'd
kind of
love
pops
that
off.
though, Brad.
Well, the scanning sucks in this game. It takes too long. It's not nearly as cool as it was in Prime and the other ones where, you know, most of them, well, whatever. We don't need to get into that. But
No.
and there's too much stuff to scan. I never try to get 100% scans in this game, in these games, but like especially not in this one because there's like so many scans. And it's not like, oh, this is a door. You open doors by shooting them and you never have to scan another door again. They do this thing. And I'm trying to remember if like Prime, by the time we got to Prime 3, if they were doing it where like all the various, like you go into a room, like a lab or something, or a forge, a Volt Forge, and there's like 18 different computer screens. They're all like separate scans because they all want to say something different about the technology in that room. And it's like, this is insane. And then if you get to a door, let's say that door like gets blasted open by like a fucking I don't know, not a Metroid because there ain't no fucking Metroids in this game.
What?
That's so stupid. That's so
You
Spoiler!
buried the lead
Spoiler!
on this.
there's like a cutscene Metroid, and then that's it. It's insane, but whatever. You know, there's been did Metroid Prime.
I'm
Do
having
you
a
have any
really hard
Metroids?
time getting a read on how you actually feel about this game, Brad. It
Okay,
feels like
you're like
peaks
a
and
person
valleys.
in a Discord. Okay, I know you just want that Brad happy or Brad sad, but hold on, it's complex. It's true though. People really get uncomfortable when it's not that.
I mean, when it comes to you and something like Metroid, yes,
We'll
yes.
get there. I'm still just talking. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
you
told you
are just
about
talking.
these two cool dungeons. These two cool dungeons, right? Okay?
Yes.
2 and 3. This is 2. 3 is the ice belt. The first
God
one,
damn it,
Fury
Brad, get on
Green,
with it.
is that one with like Miles McKenzie. You know,
Yes.
it's like basically a tutorial. That thing is the most linear and shitty thing, except not. It's linear. You never want to go back there, but you have to because that's where your home base is. And it's like it's a bad area and it's too short and it's not remarkable at all. It has good music. And then the 2 after the ice belt are shitty. They're really shitty. Like I think Flare Pool is like weirdly bad and linear for something I thought was going to be way cooler. And then the mines. Let me tell you, the mines. I do not yearn for the mines, man. It is. It,
Brad, I
So-
do have to interject here and say that like on some level here, you're like actively talking me out of playing this game, and I don't
I don't
necessarily
give a
want you
shit.
to
I
do that.
don't give a shit. This conversation is above you. You don't exist in this conversation, and I apologize. I'm never like that with my games. But hang on a second, Nick. I don't give a shit if you don't play this game. I really don't. You have not played Metroid
I'm
Prime 2
already
and 3,
playing it.
so play those.
I'm already playing it, you dumb bitch.
Replay Metroid Prime 1. Nick, it gets worse. The
I
game
know, but
will
you're
get
like
worse.
taught like it's like you're like using this podcast, as Papa Shot in chat said, you're using this podcast to like talk through your feelings on
Yeah.
Metroid, and it's like
Yes,
you're
that
going
is
into more
absolutely what I'm
detail
doing.
than I necessarily need you to because like I
No,
don't want to
I
know every beat of the game
And I'm
because
not-
I
I'm
do
not.
intend to play it.
I'm not going to go into detail on those like later game areas, but just know that the Federation, your Federation homies are ever present. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, Miles is gonna like go away, and we're not gonna have to like deal with these fuckers anymore." No, like they like as you go in the game, they are more present in your dungeons.
This is like the
And, like-
Miles and other people, right?
Yes,
Is that
Miles
what
and
you're
the other
talking about?
people. And let me tell you, those characters might not be as cringy as Miles, but they're not like good. Like the story of this game is not like good. And in Metroid, like the story has only ever really been good when it's been like, you know, in
Barely
those
there.
quiet atmospheric moments and you're reading like, oh, like this shit about like the Chozo is actually kind of sad. And these space pirates are like actually kind of like that's really fucked up what they're doing right now. You know, but it's like, you know, the lore in a limited capacity when you're really feeling the atmospheric vibes of a Metroid game, it's pretty good. But here it wants to have more like, you know, some people will call that like Halo-y back with Metroid Prime 3. Like it's like it feels like nothing, man. Even calling it Halo is like too much of a compliment. Like it's not there's just not much there. There's not much to these characters. There's not much to the storyline. Yet another ancient race that like had some tragedy. We've done that before multiple times over with multiple ancient races or whatever. Like, what do you
Can I just say that it's crazy there's no Metroids in this game, and yet they have these like bulbous floating alien creatures flying around here?
Yeah.
that seem to subtly
These are robots.
resemble Metroids.
It is cool that this dungeon
We are
is
beyond
like a factory
Metroids.
for making motorcycles. Like this is a factory for making motorcycles, and that's pretty cool.
Yet you have the only motorcycle in the game.
No, there's other motorcycles in this,
Oh, okay.
you know, factory.
Oh.
But like I'm the only one driving one around. I just want to say, like, you have like
It's a robot.
there's like a main villain, quote unquote main villain, does not have main villain energy, but he does show up a few times and he sucks. His name is Silux, and if you don't know who he is, that's fine because he was a Metroid Prime Hunters for the DS, that multiplayer DS game that I guess kind of had single player. He's from that, And like, I guess Retro has always like maybe teased that he would be a bigger deal. He does not feel like a big deal at all here. In fact, it's just mostly like, oh, I forgot about you every time he shows up. And it's like, okay, whatever. At least your boss fight's pretty fun, which is, remember, it feels good to play. Um, but yeah, if you're in it for like the story and the characters, like there ain't nothing here for you really. Um, sadly, I guess. But you know what? Like this little mini boss here is pretty cool. Like one thing I want to say, and we're going long here, are like the abilities you get. The one I'm using now is like the most interesting ability. It's just the beetle from Skyward Sword, whatever. Twing twang. Everything else is the most like basic, boring shit in a way that is not only disappointing, but like it's not. They're not even. That's stuff. It's stuff that's not that was used in more interesting ways when they showed up in like Prime One and Prime Two and Prime Three. And those games had other cool abilities that aren't in this game. Like the like I think a trademark of or like like a signature of the Metroid Prime games are cool like sequences where you're in morph ball mode where it goes like side scrolling or top down and you're doing
Yeah.
cool platforming sequences or puzzles or encounters or even boss fights. Although fuck the boost guardian from Metroid Prime 2, holy shit. Um they do some of that here, but it feels so like simple and uninspired, and like there's just nothing there. It's like they knew they had to have that stuff in there, and there's plenty of it in there, but like they're just not doing anything like challenging or like creative with it. Like there was much better of that stuff in the other Prime games, and it feels weird that they're not trying something a little more unique. You get a double jump, you get uh like a grapple, but like none of the grapple stuff here is like even good, much less inspired or interesting or fun or challenging. And they did do that in the other Prime games. Like Skytown and Prime 3, like you were like doing fucking cool stuff with like your grappling hook and those rails, and you would get like the fucking, screw attack, y'all simpletons call it, but the one where she flies through the air. It's not really the screw attack. The screw attack is the upgrade that makes it like damaging to enemies. But
Okay,
whatever.
nerd.
Y'all think of it as the screw attack. I'm saying that ain't in Prime 4. Like we could have really used some of that, but like I don't know if there was enough interesting vertical space to have made it like interesting. There's nothing exciting about the upgrades. And that is really frustrating because I think if you're going to make any Metroidvania, not even a Metroid game, any Metroidvania in this day and age,
It
in a
lives and dies
post
by its
fucking
by
everything world, every every other indie developer makes a Metroidvania. The one thing you probably need to do to stand out a little bit is to come up with some interesting abilities, you know? Not like, oh, the boost ball can like boost now, which was like one of the first things you get in Metroid Prime 1. Like and they don't do anything with it. It's so weird that there's no like they were maybe like I feel like this developer, what was left of Retro Studios, which has changed a lot over the years, was so afraid that maybe they couldn't just make another Metroid Prime game after all these years, 18 years later, with so much staff having been gone, including like the leads and director of like the first 3 Prime games who formed Armature Studios and made Recore. By the way, Recore is a better Metroid Prime game than this one, maybe. I like Recore. Some people hate Recore. One of the big complaints about Recore is like there's a big at the end of the game you have to go around and collect all of these fucking orbs before you could do the final dungeon. Everyone hated it, just like they hate it here with the green crystals. I didn't have a problem in that game because I got them as I played, just like the green crystals here. Get fucked, y'all. Um, Look, it's disappointing. It plays great. It looks great. The music's amazing. There's not anything out there like Metroid Prime. There really isn't. Like so little is inspired by Metroid Prime, which is disappointing. 2D Metroid all over the place. 3D Metroid, there ain't nothing like this. And if you miss Metroid Prime, yeah, fucking play it. Like for the sick, you know, for for the soundtrack and just how cool she looks in her fucking suit, it might be worth the price of admission, honestly. But like,
it is a
she's a
very pretty
mute.
game.
She's a silent protagonist.
$70 game,
She's
Bradley.
a silent protagonist, and you know what? it does not fucking matter that she was a silent protagonist in Metroid Prime because there was no one there to fucking talk to. But now there is, and it's fucking stupid. It's stupid because they're talking at her and she's just giving quiet nods. It's never good.
That's when
Don't
you
do that.
realize she is literally a mute.
And
Like we never knew.
they talk about her like she's like oh my god, it's Samus, like like Doomslayer a little bit, right? But like it's so she has nothing to contribute outside of like the most, like if you blinked you'd miss them. Like her nods are like they're like 8-degree nods.
Sure.
She's barely moving her head. You could miss them. It's stupid. Why do they do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But you know what? You know how you solve that problem? You don't give her characters to interact with. Man, and we were talking about it with the Miles McKenzie, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're all overreacting," and I'm like, "Well, every time that they've had like the Federation around and other characters to interact with, it's always worse." And it's true, and it's worse because of it here. And it wasn't like an Atreus spoiling every puzzle kind of situation, but let me tell you, when you're trying to vibe out in the desert and the game suddenly thinks that you don't know where to go, but you're trying to vibe out in the desert and collect 8,000 crystals, and Mackenzie keeps popping on there to say, "Hey, maybe you should like head back to that one dungeon that you really
Yeah,
hated, but you have this power." It's
that sounds
not
awful.
good. It's not good because you can't even turn that off. And Metroid Prime 1, you could turn off the hint system that tells you what room to go to. Here, it's not an option. He will keep calling you on the fucking radio to remind you what you should be doing, which you don't even, of course you already know. How could you not? When you would think that in a world with a big open desert, you would have freedom to do the dungeons in at least a couple of them in an order that you wanted to. You cannot. You absolutely cannot. And if you try to go to a dungeon out of order, it's just going to be, you're just going to waste so much time because these transitions and loads take so much time that like you feel like an asshole for choosing the wrong one.
20
Because
seconds.
McKinsey, he makes it sound like you can have the freedom to do so, but you can't. You don't have that freedom. And it even does some like horrible shit like, "Oh, you need that fire beam. Run over to the very front of the fire dungeon to like upgrade your fire beam, and now you can do the ice world." And it feels bad. It feels bad. But, wait till you hear the music. All right, I'm done. It's
My
not we're not going
God,
to let the
he
footage loop.
finished just as the footage looped.
Dang.
I told you I would. I told you I would.
I
I
feel like he
hate
was
that
just
you
that
did.
was what he was going that's what he was going for from the very beginning.
Nah, I got plenty more to say, but we need to move
I mean,
on.
do you feel better? No?
No, he doesn't.
I
That's
mean,
not the
honestly,
official
I'm gonna
timeline.
keep playing Prime 1, and I want to play some Metroid games, some good Metroid games.
I mean, play Dread. Dread's pretty good.
I've played Dread. Okay,
I know. You've played all of them. Is
thanks
there
for
a
the
Metroid game you haven't
recommendation.
played at this point?
I have never played all the way through the Game Boy Samus Returns or Return of Samus.
But you have AM2R
Metroid
for that.
2 yeah, I played through AM2R and I played through the Mercury Steam one, of course, but I've never finished the one on Game Boy. I didn't really have a Game Boy until
Damn.
Game Boy Pocket with like with the bundle with Zelda, and I never Metroid 2 already at that time seemed like too dated. I had already played Super Metroid, and I'm like, Game Boy kind of sucked back then. Let me tell you, like that was a really like limited console. It had 2 buttons. But whatever.
All right.
Federation Force. I've never played Federation Force.
Better game than Metroid Prime 4? Maybe,
no,
possibly. No.
don't be stupid. Also, this is better than I think it's better than Other M. Like let's not, like I'm saying, it's like an 80 on Open Critic. It deserves that. It feels like that. It's not Other M. It's not. I would say this. I like this more than definitely the worst Prime game, and I'm not even too fond of Metroid Prime 3. But Metroid Prime 3 does cool stuff with like the phase on corruption or whatever, and uh the boss fights are cool. Combat feels they really needed to have remastered 2 and 3. That remaster of 1 is so good. It's a real crime. Like Nintendo, they're
Three is the
assholes.
three is the
They're
three is the
the
one that
Wii
kind of
one.
makes it. Yeah, but that's the one that kind of makes it difficult, right? To like
Yeah.
remaster. You'd basically have to remake it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the
You wouldn't have to
Prime 1,
remake it.
they really did kind of like put a lot of work into that game. Um and 2's really good. 3's good, but it's not like 1 and 2.
I mean, the Switch 2 has mouse mode for its
It seems it just
controllers.
seems like
So.
Metroid Prime is a series happens to be a series of diminishing returns because it sounds like the ranking is like
No.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
But like 2 was a kind of like a crazy ambitious like sequel
Well,
in
yeah,
some
but I'm saying
ways.
if you look at the
It filtered
trajectory of
so many
like,
people though because it was
but if
very difficult.
but I'm just saying if you look at the trajectory of like the reception to these games in this series, it seems like it's getting steadily
Yeah.
it's trending down in terms of
Yeah, but
quality.
there was an 18-year gap. I mean, that doesn't even really.
That
But
is
like
that
like like
is
like the world
ridiculous.
of game reviews have like changed in significant
Yes.
ways 3 times over since
I mean, the world of game reviews, the
corruption.
world of games in general has changed so dramatically. It's not surprising that there is a significant
But I do want
challenge to revisiting this
to
series.
remind you that Metroid Prime Remaster came out last year. Metroid Prime Remaster came out last year, and it's at a 94 on Metacritic, which is kind of unheard of for a remaster. Like it might be the highest rated remaster of all time. So like there is still a love and a reverence and like a hey, this holds the fuck up hashtag understatement. You know, like it's not I know time has passed and reviewers have changed, but Metroid Prime is still a goat.
Steady as she goes. Still steady as she goes. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about a couple more
Other stuff.
games, and I want to recap some of the highlights from last week's Game Awards. We didn't do a podcast last week, but the guys here did do commentary on the show, and there were a lot of announcements. I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about like the awards and whatnot, but I do want to have an opportunity to talk about some of the games that were announced because, if you ask me, anyways, I think it was a really good show from that perspective. So, we'll do that. We're going to talk about Routine. Chris Davis started that game today, and I have played a lot of it at this point. And I've also been playing the Seance of Blake Manor, which I want to talk about. So um, we'll hit those when we come back. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, are y'all ready to answer my question?
I'm
Sure.
Do y'all
so
remember?
ready.
So y'all know how Metroid Prime does cool visual things. You know, you charge your blaster, shoot a wall, you see her reflection and stuff.
Yes.
One of the cool things is when you come out of water, right? Right?
Yeah.
You see the water
Is that the
drip down her
fog?
visor.
Oh.
That kind of like atmospheric shit. The water drip down her visor. Well, in Metroid Prime 4, that effect's not in there because you never go underwater. What kind of fucking criminal shit is that? A Metroid game with no
Wait a second.
underwater at all?
Well,
It is
it's not
a
as bad as I
sin.
thought.
It's a fucking sin.
Is your
So you-
question
you.
that you want us to answer? Wait, where was the question in that? I guess
No.
is
Yeah.
Do you remember
There was-
the water?
like
It felt more
everything,
like-
this is just him talking for himself. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an episode about Brad trying to talk through trauma.
Yeah. Listen,
We're
Sean.
not here. Nick.
I mean, y'all
It's
y'all
just
not played
Brad.
the game, and y'all are like, you know, not the
Hostile.
biggest Metroid fans. This was a very one-sided conversation, but I think honestly, the listeners, the viewers, they probably would have wanted it that way. I mean, it's better than me trying to convince Nick to play it or not, which happens with some of these conversations.
He's already playing it. He said this.
I'm already playing it.
Oh, well, you know,
And I was
you can
over
bring it
here
up when
trying to
you
tell
finish.
you to like maybe don't go into great detail on certain
I
things
don't
that
want
I
to
haven't.
spoil the great story or anything.
That's not.
Look, the takeaway I had from that conversation is that maybe I should spend my money on Donkey Kong Bonanza.
And my takeaway is I've already spent my money on Metroid Prime, and I'm gonna keep playing it. God damn it.
Your takeaway is like, oh wow, that dude has a lot of feelings about Metroid. That should have been
I
the
mean,
takeaway.
that is definitely one of the takeaways.
Yeah, but that's
There's
not
no
like new.
underwater. There's no underwater. Do you know what one of Brad's favorite things are?
Being waterboarded? I don't.
Going underwater in a video game. Do you know what series does that extremely well?
Metroid
Metroid.
Prime.
Tomb Raider?
Metroid Prime and 2D Metroid. And Tomb Raider, absolutely. I love Tomb Raider. Are we transitioning to Tomb Raider?
Are we
No,
talking
we're
Oh
about
not.
wait,
Tomb
What?
Raider?
Nobody here is talking about Tomb Raider except for when we get to the Game Awards stuff, which we'll do
yeah,
that
that's what I meant.
in a
That's
little
what I
bit.
meant.
I figured since there's 2 more games we're going to cover tonight. I want to talk about. Why don't we start with Routine? Because Routine has been coming for a long time.
Where's Carlos?
The French
got
guy.
Carlos is.
Routine.
I'm
I
sorry,
feel like-
Brad. Am I not enough for you?
No.
to talk about
that-
it?
You don't
that
kinda
is
have
the
the history.
theme of the podcast.
Also, he's probably
man.
like finished it 8 times by now.
I don't care. Carlos ain't
Ugh.
here. What? I know Carlos is a fan of this game, and I know he's been looking forward to this game for a long time. I even had to rely on him a couple times when I was streaming this game over the past week or
You
so.
fucking scrub, dude.
Hey, I heard this game was pretty basic as fuck, and like, you don't interact with anything other than this device you're carrying.
Okay,
That's
so
not true.
that is kind of a loaded question.
Was it? I felt like it was very
More of a
fair
loaded
and
state.
even-handed.
More of a
Very
loaded
leading,
statement. Be-
maybe leading?
It's more like the fact that your gun, they call it the CAT, the cat or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you're not
it's
playing a-
multi-purpose. It's not just a gun, it's an item.
What?
It does multiple things.
It's not
This
even a
this
gun per se.
Game is very diegetic. What?
I don't know how to react to that statement, but so look, Routine is in a lot of ways, and so I had somebody point out to me that like this is not a spiritual successor to fucking Alien Isolation because Routine's been in development for way longer than Alien Isolation ever was, and it's
Oh,
kind of the
really?
other way around. And I was like, yeah, I know, but look,
Is that even
Alien
true?
Isolation. I mean,
That's
no,
true.
there's probably no. I mean, yeah, it's been in development in one way or another longer than Alien Isolation.
Routine was
has
supposed
been
to
a
launch
thing.
in 2013. Alien Isolation came out in 2014.
Did we
let me just-
know
I think
that
that's way
that
longer.
the gameplay was? Did we know what the gameplay was going to be like though?
It was supposed to
No,
be like
no.
a roguelite thing.
Oh,
Yeah, the game that they were making in 2013, I don't think resembles this at all. But
It
also,
wasn't a
that
video
is
game
one
back then.
that is one thing that probably Carlos could speak to better than I can. So I'm not going to try. What I will say is the game that we got now is very much a game that kind of like follows in the footsteps of something like Alien Isolation. The character that you play in this game is not a like warrior or whatever. Like he is like a maintenance guy. He's been sent to the space
Technician.
station. He's a technician who's been sent to this space station. So like the only thing that you interact with directly is this cat or CAT diagnostic device, which kind of when you attach certain modules to it, kind of serves as like a weapon of sorts. But like
Yeah.
you are very much like when you encounter enemies in this game, usually the best choice of action is to run and to hide and to avoid them at all costs. I have spent a fair amount of time hiding under tables, not lockers, as I did frequently in Alien Isolation, but I spent lots of time hiding under tables.
Yep.
But yeah, but like what we ended up getting is this like really, really kind of like striking. How would you what's the term that's commonly used to describe kind of like the visual style of like Alien, where it's kind of like
Retrofuturistic.
retro futuristic? Yeah, it's got the vibe. It feels very much. It's even got that really nice kind of like gritty filter over it. The way that like it's like it feels kind of like you're watching the original Alien. It's got this like grainy green kind of like filter over it.
It's,
which is really
it's
nice.
like
But,
the 80s
you're-
never ended and he went to the moon and it was still the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's very interesting. Has anyone ever done that before?
shut up, Crispy. But look, the thing that surprises me about this game, and at first it almost felt like and maybe Chris Davis is having a completely different experience than me. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if you tuned in and saw any of my streams as I was playing this, but which I think I've streamed it twice now. Both times that I streamed it, I got stuck in rooms and doing things where it's like I had no fucking clue how to progress. And it's one of those games. It doesn't give you any like
It
visual
doesn't.
cues or
It
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 does
barely
not
gives
point
you a
you in anything.
tutorial.
It needs a Miles McKinsey. What it sounds like.
Yeah, no. This is the polar opposite of having a Miles McKinsey. And like, I shit you not, I don't know. You're clearly past this part, so I don't know what the experience was like for you, Chris Davis. But I spent like 30 minutes on my stream running around that fucking first hallway, trying to figure out how to get through a door into to get on an elevator.
Yep.
And the
Sounds like
solution, like, there's
classic
like
Nick slop though. Like
no,
so many
but
horror games are like that.
Well,
you needed you needed an ID card to get on the elevator, and you needed to find the personal ID card for a very specific person. I found the ID card, and I was like, okay, how do I use it? And I'm walking around, and I'm going to the door, and I'm like, it's not letting me use it, whatever. And it's like you have to plug in like his identification, like employee identification number to access the door, whatever. And then like after like 30 minutes, I was like looking around, like, what the fuck am I doing? And I looked down, and you can see your body, and his ID card was printed on the front of his fucking suit, and I'm
Yeah.
reading the number upside down. I was like, "You've
Yeah.
got to be shitting me!" And I plugged it in, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But like, like I've had multiple experiences like that in the game, and it's one of those things where it's like when I realized what I was like, I felt so fucking stupid, but then I was also like, that's also so fucking cool. It like all like so many of the puzzles, quote unquote, in this game have been just about like how close of attention are you paying to the environment around you, because that's where you're going to find your solutions. It's about like reading hand-drawn scribbles on like whiteboards and like actually paying attention to what's been written,
Yeah.
and then like piecing that together to like figure out where to go and how to use your little tool to get through the thing. And I don't want to spoil any of it for you, especially because there's things that like Chris Davis hasn't seen yet, but like there's a module that you get for this thing, and like it doesn't really tell you, it tells you what it does, but it doesn't tell you how it's intended to be used in context of the game. And it took some experimentation. And then I had this idea in my head. I was like, I guess you could maybe use it this way, but there's no way. There's no fucking way. And then I go and I do it, and sure enough, that's how you're supposed to use it. And it kind of fucking blew my mind.
You can take a picture of the moon.
It's really interesting how much the game wants you to be paying attention to the environment and how little work it does to actually reinforce like things you interact with. Like it took me a while to realize that like the PDA, the personal digital assistant that you work with, isn't like a device that you have on you that you just press, something on your keyboard to activate and pull up. No, it's wall projector manels, monitors that you go up to. You pull out your gun, you press a button on your gun to connect a Wi-Fi link to it, and then you can go scroll through your objectives, your notes and everything, and then save.
It's projected in real time on the wall in front of you, but like you have to like access it through your gun. There's also like times where like your little like tiny little screen on the back of your gun that you kind of like view your like viewfinder or whatever, it gets all kind of out of whack, and you have to there's a DGOS button to like DGOS.
Because it's a CRT.
Sometimes I forget to do it, and I'm like panicking, and I'm like trying to. It's like, why the fuck is my screen all fucked up? And someone's like, DGOS your screen. Fuck, I forgot to do that.
This is what Bognoise was talking about. He says,
Yeah.
This is what he means by diegetic. Everything's in the game. Makes sense.
It's
also, I think it's pronounced DGOS, isn't it?
DGOS.
Like that.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I was born after CRTs were no longer a thing.
No, you weren't. You're older.
That's a lie. You're wrong.
That was the joke, Crispy. That was the fucking joke.
You're a fucking liar.
It has been a very long time since I've degoused a screen, though.
That was so satisfying.
I feel like I've only ever did it out of fun. I've never done it out of like utility.
Out of necessity, yeah. Sometimes you need
because
to.
You were on the moon.
But so this is a game where it's like you're trying to figure out what happened at the space station, and clearly there was this like lockdown, and all the robots in the space station are like now
Killer.
they're usually like robots that are there to like help you, whatever. And now they're kind of like the robots in Alien Isolation. They now like hunt you down and kill you. But what's
Hell
crazy
yeah.
is like you realize there's kind of something funky about the way these robots work. Like, but you don't really just like watching them. It's like you're trying to figure out what the fuck it is. But it's one of those things you can like find. There's like a notepad somewhere where someone has written down like how the robots like operate, and then you realize, oh, only one of the robots can be active at a time on a floor. So it's like there's like 5 robots on this floor,
Yeah, I
and when you
didn't know
see,
that.
yeah, so like if one is moving, the other
Oh.
ones are frozen. So like it's just like, and you might never ever realize that unless you're like paying super close attention. But
Oh shit.
it does a lot of cool things.
Damn dogs.
I think
But what
it's
I can,
I
go
I
ahead.
I was gonna say I think I keep coming back to your tool weapon thing. I just think it's such a cool idea how modular and what they're trying to do with it. Like it's not just a gun; it's your how you connect to your PDA to track your objectives and how you do
Mhm.
stuff. It's also like a puzzle tool. Like you get a
Oh yeah,
module early in the game that lets it project like a blacklight view, and so you use that to solve puzzles.
yeah.
Like you flash it on a monitor that's like
Nope,
a keypad.
nope,
Okay.
don't say that. That's
All
one
right. Well,
like
anyway.
this is like one of those things. Like that's one of the things that kind of blew my mind, and I was
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't want to spoil that for
Sounds like
people.
there's
But
more
the game
puzzles than
is
Metroid Prime 4.
but the thing is
This is
the game
possible.
just the game does not want to tell you anything. You have to go find shit out. There's like
That's
one
that's
very
the
small tutorial at the
sauce,
very beginning.
though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just
Okay,
saying, like, if you're going in expecting like some kind of guidance on what you're supposed to do outside of
Metroid
reading
Prime
a
4.
couple notes at the very beginning, like, good fucking luck. It doesn't want to teach you anything except what's the absolute fucking basic.
this is like this is a game that like I think captures the kind of like loneliness and isolation of like being
Fuck you,
alone in
dude.
space. Like,
Of all
yeah,
episodes, fuck you.
I know what you're thinking. I mean, it's very different still than like the way Metroid does it. It's a very different approach to it, but like it. I mean, my brain keeps going back to like the original Alien, like the like just kind of the vibes of that and how it just felt very like, um, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's just like everything feels, you just feel super isolated from like humanity. I don't know. It does a really good job of this, but like the one thing I do want to say, and I don't want to spoil this
You do know that Metroid is
explicitly.
inspired by Alien,
Yes, I
right?
know,
Okay.
Brad. I know.
Okay.
Not everything is about Metroid. This is obviously very different
No,
than
I'm
Metroid.
talking about Alien.
Yes, I know. It's also inspired by Alien, of course, because like 1,000 things are inspired by Alien. The comparison is maybe a little more obvious here because this game actually looks like Alien in a lot, like visually speaking. Um,
I haven't seen any aliens.
okay, well, first of all, let me just say, and I don't want to spoil any of this,
Well,
but like
sounds like you're
I
about
am on
to.
I am on chapter 4 of this game, and I'm not going to say explicitly what it is. If you watch my stream, you know what I'm talking about. One of the scariest things I've ever experienced, and like just straight up. This, you know how everyone used to talk about like like the basement level in Condemned,
Mhm.
and how it was like one of the scariest fucking things.
Hmm.
This has a kind of an equivalent, I would say, because
What about
I don't.
You're talking
Mm,
about the farmhouse? What about the level
yeah,
in
yeah, the
Amnesia
farmhouse, the
where that thing
farmhouse.
is stalking you in the water and you can't see it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That was kind of a goat.
it's
Yeah.
very much, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very much that kind of thing. Um, but like it spends a lot of the game kind of like getting you used to like one type of thing, and you get kind of comfortable with it, and then as soon as you're comfortable with it, it's like, oh, by the way, here's this absolutely horrifying thing, and it's totally different, and you have no idea how to deal with it.
So this game's hype
And
as fuck.
it's I haven't finished it yet, and I think a lot of it, how I ultimately feel about the game, is going to kind of hinge upon how it sticks the landing. But
I'm glad that horror is a genre that like gets to have atmosphere. Like it's so important to horror. I like when other games genres are atmospheric, because I feel like the horror atmosphere is kind of like the one thing, and it's always that way. It'd be nice. Be nice to,
Why do I
you
feel like he's
know.
talking about Metroid again?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's
Life finds a way.
yeah. You're like, oh, it's very atmospheric and stuff, and like, yeah, of course it is. Something's trying to kill you, and you're very weak. And I know, it's dark, and
I think the most interesting thing about this game
I feel like he's
is
calling you stupid, Nick.
I
no,
know.
no,
I'm
it's a
just saying. I
locker
think
hider, though. I'm not gonna play it.
it's not as much of a locker hider as you're probably thinking.
This looks like Alien Isolation, except
It
instead of a
is.
locker, you're
It
peeking under a.
look, 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 look,
Yeah.
look.
I'm with
Yes,
Brad. I don't like horror games either.
That's not what I said.
this is here's what I will say about the comparison to Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation is like you have one enemy that is constantly hunting you, and it can pop out at any time. So like any room you walk into, you feel like you got to be ready to like jump in the closest locker or hide under the nearest table. This is not necessarily that, because
Hmm.
you're not constantly faced with one enemy. You're navigating these corridors that are being patrolled by like these murderous robots, and so you spend a lot less time hiding. I think it's more about just kind of like making sure you think your pathway is clear, and then making a run for it,
But that's
kind
what
of
Alien
situation.
Isolation was.
But like Alien Isolation, there was always this fear that like if you're in a room and everything's totally fine and you think you're safe, the alien can just decide to fucking fuck your shit up in
Yeah.
the middle of that. This isn't really that. Um,
It's like a Soma.
it is a little bit like a Soma, but it does take a hard turn at some point and become more like an Amnesia.
Well,
Um,
I
Yeah.
a Soma, like a Soma. I mean, that game famously has a mod to remove enemies because, like, the
yes,
actual gameplay of that game is not very good. It's the
the
conversation that the game is
the
having with you
conversation around it is incredible.
Yes.
that is so good.
The ending of
What's
Soma
happening here
is
and what's happening here in routine? Like, what is
okay.
this
Look, what I
about?
this is one of those things where I don't want to spoil it for you, and I'm also still trying to like figure out the crux of everything right now. It's like I haven't seen how it
Yeah,
ultimately plays out, but the thing that I alluded to that happens in chapter 4 is where you
sure.
start to kind of realize what
The
the fuck is going on
thesis.
in this station, and the way they kind of like trickle it out, and like you start to realize what it is terrifying. And I wish it's like, oh god, maybe I'll if you want to know, I'll tell you off the feed. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, I do want
It's
to know.
fucking wild.
The
But it
Alien
is also
Isolation
like,
thing is
I mean, the Alien Isolation is, I mean, I love Alien
like
Isolation, but
so. This reminds me a little bit of like. Well, I guess the one thing that was good about the Alien is that it was very deadly always, right? But like
yes,
you could play something like Resident Evil 2, the remake, and Mr. X is very like scary and deadly and ever present. But
yes,
when you learn how to kind of like game the system, he kind of becomes not scary anymore. Or like an Outlast. Like, oh, that guy's chasing me, but if I hide in a locker, he's always gonna like pull me out of the locker and throw me down towards the exit of the room instead of like trapping me. So I could
yeah,
just do that every time and never actually have to be worried about it. Does this
yeah.
feel like you could break the game that way and not actually have to be worried about these fucking robots? And
No, if you get caught by a robot, you're fucked. Um,
okay,
yeah,
well,
It's not an instant death, but like you get hit twice and you're dead. At least as far as I've played so far.
oh yeah, you're right. I think I have been captured by one. There, it's sorry, it's hard to talk about without spoiling. I'll talk to you about it later if you really want to know. But like, there
you're
are
just gonna
definitely
play it.
differences. There are,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very, I do highly recommend it. It's very interesting. And if you're into like space horror and like you like the kind of like,
Nick Slop.
sure, I mean, yeah, it's Nick Slop. I mean, I love this
There's
genre. I love
Keely
this.
Slop.
I don't know, man. Like
I think it's more
it's
than that, I
doing
think.
some fucking cool things. I really like how you interact with monitors. It really reminds me of like what they were trying to do way back with Doom 3 back in the day. How the world is
Trying to
just
solve puzzles when you know like nothing's pausing, like nothing, the action isn't stopping,
yeah.
and you have to continue interacting, like fumbling with these like ancient
Ancient.
monitors and like, yeah. I
Oh,
mean, it feel Also,
Antiquated.
I recommend playing with I recommend playing with a controller, but having a mouse and keyboard standing by, because trying to interact with like monitors with a with the controller in hand is awful. It's such a pain in the dick.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, can I compliment the fucking sound design in this game?
oh, it's
Jesus
incredible.
Christ. The robots, they just lumber, and it's just such brutal mechanicalism. And when they're searching for you, like right now, when they're like scanning the environment for where they heard you or been looking for you, like you're like, holy shit, man.
Yeah,
They got the
it
sound
keeps
design.
you.
They fucking nailed it.
I can't wait for you to play Chapter 4. I'm just saying, I can't wait. It's incredible. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down as
We
like
don't
one
go
of
to
my favorite.
Ravenholm.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a Ravenholm situation. I remember, I started streaming at the beginning of Chapter 4 the other night, and Carlos popped into my stream and he goes, "Oh boy, you're gonna have a hard time," and then he just ghosted me. He just left, and I was like, "That's never good."
That's on
But
brand for
yeah,
him, though.
yeah, yeah. Routine's pretty cool so far. I'm digging
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna try and finish it this weekend. And
I
I'm
will
looking
continue
forward
to
to
play
hearing
it.
what Chris Davis thinks after he gets through some of that stuff. All right, look, I want to talk. I know Brad, you're going to talk about this other game with us next week, so I won't spend a lot of time talking
Yeah.
about
Can
this.
can I can I talk about
Oh, go
my
ahead.
thing? Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, he had
yeah.
surprises or something.
Yeah, I just had a
Yeah,
mystery
go for it.
game that I learned about the other day, and I thought y'all would be really interested.
I hope it's not significant.
It's not that big. Like
Wait,
it's a small
is there
thing.
no footage? Is there footage of this game?
Oh, I've got footage. Yeah. Why
Okay.
why would I skip out on recording footage of the demo for Banjo-Kazooie 3? You know, I mean,
What the
What?
fuck?
yeah. Welcome
the
to
fuck,
Banjo-Kazooie
Chris
3,
Davis?
courtesy of Dreams. It's called Mumbomania. This is some guy in Dreams basically created a 2-hour long level of that perfectly fucking emulates Banjo-Kazooie. And
This is actually kind of crazy.
it is fucking insane, the quality they put in here. It is a Banjo-Kazooie experience in every control factor, everything you could possibly imagine. The thing that makes it stand out is that it's much more focused on transformations with this. So you've got
He swim
kind
in
of
that water?
yes. Oh yes.
Wow.
There's stuff to find down there, man. It's cool. Like in Banjo-Kazooie, you
Man.
just can't go swimming underwater because there's always some kind of like fish monster that's always going to bite you and kill you. But in this, you can get around that
You're just
because
making
of the
Brad sad about
transformations.
Metroid again.
So the Mumbo skull that's flying around, kind of like what you get in Crash, he's the main transform thing here. So you use the puzzle pieces that you get, the jiggies, to unlock
Yeah.
the ability to transform into things in the environment and enemies as well. So like the tutorial transformation, you get to be able to turn into a rock, a literal rock that can roll with a backpack and just go around on the map. Can't do much other than jump. That's about it. But the more puzzles you complete, the more jiggies you get, you start hitting thresholds to where, oh, that enemy right there that's flashing pink, I can use Mumbo via the motion controls to go over, learn his form, and then I can transform into him. And each one of these forms, there's like 6 or 7 of them, they have their own mechanics and cool stuff about them. It's on the whole, it's minor like transformations, but each one becomes a gateway to finding more jiggies and finding more things hidden on the map.
No, this
And
is a
it's-
better Metroid game than.
I mean,
Well, you know what? Like, how much is like, wow, this is incredible, or like, I can't, or is it more like, I can't believe they'd made this?
I mean, I feel like it's probably a little bit of both, right?
I mean, it really is kind of both because they fucking nail the sound design. They nail just the character movement and the abilities that you can do as Banjo or Kazooie. Like it's fucking
Does it feel as good
Banjo-Kazooie,
as-
man.
Does it feel as good as Mario?
Nothing feels as good as Mario.
Does it feel even close to as good as Mario?
Nothing
How
ever
about
feels.
Astrobot? Does it feel as good as Astrobot?
Nothing
I
feels as good as Astrobot.
I mean, how many?
Wait a second. Were you about to say you've never played Astrobot?
Yeah, he probably hasn't.
No, I
I don't
have
want to
not.
make this about Split Fiction, but Split Fiction is giving a very talented teenager in Dreams, like custom creator, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
just
I'm saying it's a 91 on OpenCritic. Same
okay,
as Silk
sure.
Song,
I
and
fucking
it's
believe you.
basically
We're not talking
made,
about
made
Split
in
Fiction.
Dreams.
We're talking about a guy who spent probably hundreds of hours making a fucking 2-hour banjo
that's
level
what
in
he's
Dreams.
Well, Chris, I think that's what he's getting at is like, is this, if you didn't know that this was like some dude making a game in another game that is designed to make games, making this, would it be as impressive, or would you like if fucking Rare came out and was like, "Hey, we're working on Banjo 3. Here's our demo," and you played it, would you be excited about this new Banjo game coming out?
I mean, honestly, kind of, yeah. Like, the quality is fucking here. Like, this does feel like a Banjo collectathon game. You are
So it's not just
collecting.
impressive that some guy made this game and it like encapsulates the spirit of Banjo-Kazooie. It's like better than Banjo-Kazooie gameplay has ever been.
Probably not. Do you
That,
think
no,
Ooh.
this
I
is better
wouldn't
than
say that.
Ukulele? Is this better than Ukulele?
That's maybe
Yeah.
the best way to phrase the question.
Well, I never played ukulele, so I can't speak directly to that.
So yes.
You know what, Chris Davis? I'm surprised you should play ukulele.
Well, I heard
you clearly
replay
have
is
a fond.
better.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, at this point, that's the one you would play. But like, clearly, you have a fondness for this genre
the
of
side-scrolling
game, right?
sequel here is the one to play, but
Okay.
According
but-
to Brad Simons of 4Player Podcast, yeah.
I'm just saying, this is in Dreams. It is free. It's 2 hours long, and the amount
Dreams
of
isn't free though.
I mean,
I didn't even know you had dreams.
I bought Dreams the minute I found out about this. I bought Dreams for this experience, and worth every penny. Like, this is fucking cool.
It's gonna be
Is it gonna-
that guy's gonna be so sad when they shut Dreams down though, and this
Is
just
this on
goes away.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
This is PS4, PS5.
I
That's
just
the
wanna
only
know how much
platform
you
it's on,
spent on Dreams.
He's trying to find out how much this 2-hour Banjo Kazooie experience is.
$20.
There's a lot. There's a lot of cool
$10
experiences
$10 an hour.
in Dreams.
$10 an hour.
That's
Dude,
hey,
that's
Play
actually-
that game. What is
that's-
it called? Unlock or something
Premium
like
pricing.
but like right here,
That's
like
actually not bad.
I'm giving this banjo, this living banjo, the notes, and every single time a note hits it as I give it the note, it plays the theme. And like when you go underwater, the music changes. And it just
Yeah. That's crazy. And that is like an example of like why this is good, because it's insane that one guy made this with a PlayStation controller.
yeah.
At this point,
And
my
it's
question
2
is he
hours.
gonna make more?
No,
Like,
because you can't
no.
sustain, like, that's not real video game development.
No.
Yeah,
No,
this
like
is-
the guy ends the level with like you collect the last Jiggy. There's like 30 of them in this level. You collect it, and it's just basically one giant joke about bitching about the developers not making Banjo-Kazooie 3 yet.
dude, this is
I was about to say, if he's using this as like an application,
This is giving me that. This is giving me that pit in my stomach feeling again about Dreams, where it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
like the amount of human suffering that went into made something that isn't real. Like like not only is this just a game in Dreams, it's using a company's IP. Like this guy just did it for the
A
love of the
failed
game.
IP as well.
This guy
Like,
did it
Dreams is
for the love
not-
of just
was not a
spending hundreds of
success.
hours. Like
somebody's
I'm
got to do
surprised
it though.
Media Molecule still exists, to be honest with you.
Oh, right? They get like government money or something, right?
Well, they're owned by
Do they?
Sony, but
They're
Oh, are they?
they're already probably working on a games as a service thing that's not Dreams, but like I don't know, this is really
that
fucking
happens.
cool. Again, it's free. If you got Dreams, fucking download it, man. And download
What
it.
is it?
there's
it just
other
called
stuff in
Banjo-Kazooie,
Dreams
or do
that's
you have to-
cool.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I don't know
called-
anything about dreams, so like, how do you find it?
It's called Banjo-Kazooie Mumbomania, and you just search for the name, or like it's the most recommended thing right now.
Cool.
It's really
It's
fun.
like-
Because no
when
one is
you
making
read-
anything in Dreams right now, man. I don't
Oh,
think so. Maybe.
That is not the case. I looked through like their their recent, things they've added to that people have made, like dozens of things as I was scrolling, just kept going and just kept going and just kept going. Dreams is still active, evidently.
Yeah, but it's active by like the 12 sickos who've been making their levels since the game came out.
The
Oh,
12
yeah.
sickos.
Oh,
World Teller says I wouldn't be surprised if some Banjo devs reach out to him. I was like, I would say
I
that
would
without.
because
No.
are there Banjo devs? Is that a thing?
I was gonna say like if he was hoping to use this as like an in, like that probably would have been more
Yeah.
effective if he didn't end it with the joke about.
That's the only
nobody.
thing that would keep me from
No.
just
Rare
hurling my
is not
soul
gonna
into the
make
void.
a new Banjo-Kazooie. That's gonna be farmed out to like Toys for Bob or something like that.
Dude,
Like
nobody's
those are
make a
who's
new
gonna be
Banjo.
paying attention.
I
Toys
feel
for
like y'all
Bob,
need to
I'd
watch
take-
Psych Odyssey.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
that's
this is
Brad's
it.
big takeaway. You know what?
The-
Y'all need to watch Psych Odyssey. Okay.
Anyway,
y'all need to
fucking
see what
cool,
it's like
'cause-
to make a real video game.
This game really does give me the vibe of like I've just read really good literature and like really like advanced humane dialogue, but it was like a supernatural fan fiction that somebody wrote online. It's like, oh no, this talent is trapped in this like artless slop that like it can't be divorced from. Like,
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry.
possible.
That's mean.
The
That's not
crazy
fair.
thing is, like, if that did not have the Banjo-Kazooie license attached to it, like, no one would care.
But also the thing is, like, I looked through the Dreams catalog. They don't give a shit about copyright in there.
Oh, yeah,
There
of
is
course not.
so
Yeah.
much copycat Mario and Sonic content in there that is the highest rated shit in
Because
there.
nobody can make any
But they don't do
money
anything.
off of it.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
highest
yeah.
rated stuff
There-
because no one
that's what
cares
I'm
if it
saying.
doesn't-
There's no money. This is all just like dreams
fake.
and fantasy. It's pretend.
It's goddamn it, it's dreams.
I'm
Okay.
just saying that, like, if you did not play it today, you could probably play it a year or two from now.
Yeah, as long as the dreams.
You're assuming the
stay
servers are
online.
up still.
Yeah.
Assuming
Yeah.
the servers are still up.
It's
Which
factually,
do cost money.
yeah.
Real
It's cool,
quick,
though.
before
I mean, it's
before
neat.
we get to the game awards, I want to make sure he squeezes
Oh
this
my
in.
god, we're talking about the game.
Well, you know,
I apologize. I'm back. We're back.
to
What are we
talk
doing?
about Jeff Keighley's burnt house.
Oh
dude.
Why
God.
do you find that funny, Brad?
It's
that's
because
cold, man.
He had insurance. He can afford
I
insurance. It's-
guess, but I think
Jeez.
you just genuinely do not like the man, right? That's what it
Yeah,
is.
It's not fair.
So it's like
I mean,
every
it's
little
not
bad
fair.
thing that happens to him, you're like,
It's not
like-
fair. It's bitch eating
His
chicken
dad died of
syndrome.
cancer.
I did not say that. I said I was not going to say that. Shut up, Christy. Also, we don't
Don't-
know how he died. Sorry.
Probably some
mean-
rich people disease.
Jesus.
Stop it. The only joke is that it was a mansion that burned down. That's what makes it funny. Please, let's move on. What's the first game on your list, Nick?
You say this like I have like an actual list
Okay.
in front of me.
Well,
Okay,
I'm pulling
look.
it up. I'm pulling it
The
up.
long, okay, real quick. The long and short of it is, I apologize. We're gonna save the Seance of Blake Manor for the next episode.
Which can I say? Did I tell you about my mystery night? We were gonna watch Knives Out. We were gonna play Seance of Blake Manor, and I was gonna circle back to The Root Trees Are Dead. It was gonna be an epic night. So I'm
Wait,
looking
the new
forward to
Knives
that
Out?
conversation.
Did you
The new
watch
Knives
that?
Out is out.
I watched it.
I went and saw that. We went to a sneak preview where they had
Oh, you saw it in the fucking
Ryan-
theater.
yeah, Ryan Johnson did a Q&A.
Whoa!
Oh god damn
Whoa.
it, Nicholas.
It wasn't like it was not like an interactive where he was like in the room and I got to ask. It was like a streamed from like the premiere in Hollywood.
Oh,
So
okay.
we were just
like how they
watching
all have
other
those TV
people
shows,
ask. Yeah.
That's nice.
Which
But,
was still
yeah.
pretty. It was cool.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie.
Without getting into it, it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, stay tuned
I mean,
for Mystery
I-
Night.
I also watched Glass Onion on Thanksgiving, strangely enough, because I'd only ever seen that movie once, and
I
that's a
remember-
pretty good movie too.
It's pretty good. I remember like 80% of that through that movie. I was like, I don't think I'm on board with this. But like the last 20 minutes, like kind of salvaged it.
With the
Like
new
that.
one?
No,
Glass
Glass
Onion, the
Onion.
second
Glass
one.
Onion.
Oh yeah, I think this one is tighter than Glass Onion.
Oh yeah. but having watched Glass Onion for the second time, I was like, yeah, this is actually way better than I remember it
I
being.
just
Because I love Knives Out.
Oh
I fucking
yeah, they're
adore Knives
all
Out.
good.
I
Yeah.
don't think I like
I
Ed Norton.
I
Ed
just
Norton's a
don't.
tough pill to swallow these days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't he?
Is
really?
he? Wait,
Like,
when did that happen?
no, I don't know. I mean, like, uh, we don't have to get into it, but yeah,
Speaking of
he's
tough pills
he's
to
a
Is he
swallow,
is he
he's a broad
problematic?
personality. No, I don't know. No, but like, if you want to understand what he might be like to work with, you should look up the guy who directed American History X,
Oh,
because that
yeah,
movie ended
he's
his career and made
yeah.
Edward
I
Norton's
saw like a
career.
mini doc about that guy.
oh
Yeah,
That was
shit.
crazy.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
He's
Speaking
some
of
British
tough
guy that you've probably never heard of.
pills to swallow, Sven from Larian. No,
Oh
can I
no.
say? Can I say? Speaking of the Game Awards, which we are
Sven,
getting
oh
back
my
to right
god,
now,
this is what
dude,
I'm
the
talking about.
speech
CEOs
that
aren't your friend.
Sven from Larian gave at the end of the Game Awards when Baldur's Gate 3 won was a goaded speech. And
Yes.
all year long, people like I'm not talking about last week. All year long, people have been overlaying Claire Obscure Expedition 33 like footage and like the music over Sven's speech, like in March, like in April or whatever when that game came out, all year long. And it was like, dude, because he says, I'll tell you what's going to win Game of the Year 2025. It's going to be a game from a studio that did like it's it was a great speech, maybe one of the best speeches I've ever heard at the Game Awards, and with like fucking Lumiere, like the music from Expedition 33 and clips playing, and then like studio shots of like the people doing like the voice acting and stuff, like it, like almost like tear, like rolled down my cheek, beautiful. And then this shit that happened like yesterday,
Dude,
that is
that's
a
what I'm fucking
conversation
saying.
we're not
The
gonna.
whole time, even before that game came out, every time they're doing their little like live stream from hell, and Sven's running around in his armor, and everyone's like, "These guys are so cool. This is what Bioware should be. Like, blah, blah, blah. These guys are. This is it." No, that doesn't exist. That's not real. That's fake. They're all giant corporations. They all want your money. They're all horrible people. That's
This is
it. They're not your
actually
friends.
this is actually a
Like,
conversation about Expedition 33. I
I
know it gets
know. I
messy.
know. Those people are also not your friends.
Yeah, I know. But Claire Obscure won everything. Chris Davis had wanted to do like a prediction show, and I'm like, we don't need to predict because Claire Expedition 33 will win
Even
every
when it
category.
shouldn't
I wasn't even talking about predicting who would win awards because it was obvious. I was talking about like
The
what was gonna
predictions
be
were
announced.
announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, speaking of announcements, what the hell? A new Mega Man? What are we talking about?
Okay, look.
Mega Man 12.
There were a lot of announcements. I wrote like I was just as I was watching them, adding them to my own personal like release calendar thing. If it was a game I was interested in, and mine's alphabetical,
Okay.
which means the first game on my list that was announced at the Game Awards happens to be Chris Davis's dream announcement for Ace
Oh, that's
Combat 8:
right,
Wings of
that's right.
Thieves.
Oh, I'm so happy. Still, I'm so happy. Oh my god.
I
Man.
forgot about them.
After we
It was just a
ended
year.
after
It
everyone
was a year
ended.
too late.
Yeah, like well, actually technically 2 years I think, maybe. But anyway, like after we ended the stream, like or Brad just and Jaeger just left, like I spent like half an hour on the stream just like analyzing the fucking trailer and everything I could fucking read. I am so fucking excited. Oh baby, yes.
Yeah, it looks cool, and it looks like it's getting more and more cinematic as it goes. Like instead of just being like, I mean, I know the series there's always been a cinematic quality to that series, but Ace Combat 7 was impressive, and this one seems to be going even further in that direction.
It
So
is.
I'm here for it.
It's leaning a little bit more Assault Horizon, which makes me a little bit worried, just a little bit. But you know, hey, it's more Ace Combat, and I'm happy. I'm happy, man.
Yep, it just came a year too late for your Fantasy Critic League. All right,
I'm glad I
had
manifested into existence. I'm just saying
Chris
that.
Davis, do not draft that first next year. Do not do it.
Do
you did it
not
again.
take it from me, you motherfuckers. It's
What
going
is
on my
next?
list.
I know the next game. Is it Aptos?
No,
Oh.
Aptos. Which one was Aptos?
Aptos?
Damn near killed him.
Ontos. I'm thinking of
Ontos?
Ontos.
I'm getting
Yeah.
there.
We'll get to that in the O's. Sorry.
Bradley the Badger, which looked pretty
Okay.
cool, I thought.
Evan Peters? That didn't sound like Evan Peters. Isn't that
Was
weird?
that Evan Peters?
Evan Peters.
I
Evan
didn't know that. I just
Peters?
thought it looked cool.
Quicksilver?
Like
Evan Peters. He's the Bradley. He's the Badger.
I know, well, that is pretty, but like the game looks neat, right? It's like a mascot game where the mascot is actually like a video game actor or whatever, right? And like so
It's
you're
Gex or
playing.
something.
Yeah, it
It's
looks. I thought it looks pretty cool.
it's charming, I guess. His name is
Uh,
Brad, I suppose.
Control Resonant, which is obviously Control 2, which was a nice. We watched the trailer for that during trailer talk, and obviously, I like
Well, don't
Remedy a
say
lot.
obviously Control 2 because if they didn't tell you that was
It
Control
is
2,
it no, it we've known for a long time that
Yeah.
yeah.
they've been working on Control 2. This
But
is
what's
it.
interesting about it is how different it looks.
It
Yeah,
does
there
look very
wasn't a
different.
gun in the
Yeah,
trailer.
It's like
it
Devil
looks
May
very
Cry.
looks very melee focused, but you are playing as Jesse Faden's brother, who played a role in the first game, and now he's like wandering the streets of New York, which has been kind of taken over by stuff out of the oldest house, and
The
looks
hiss.
the hiss. It looks pretty neat. I'm here for it. I just hope it
Well, like
runs
Let It
better.
Die.
Yeah, sure. I wrote
But
this
good.
one. I remember looking really cool, but I honestly I haven't watched the trailer since last week. But Coven of the Chicken Foot actually looks really neat.
Yeah.
This is the new
I
Bruce Straley game.
Remind me who that
remind me who
is.
Bruce.
I'm
Yeah.
Uncharted 2, The Last of Us.
Oh, that Bruce
Okay.
Straley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Naughty Dog Bruce Straley. Okay, I
Yes.
forgot about him. Yes, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely here for this. This
Yeah,
looks really really
Neil
cool.
Druckmann made us forget about him, but we didn't forget. We didn't
Oh,
forget.
that's right, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, say
Um,
that.
Divinity obviously was a major
Which just cinematic but
announcement.
exciting.
Yeah, very excited.
Importantly, not Divinity Original Sin. They're, I guess, whatever this is going to be like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
A reminder: Divinity is one, a series that's been around for a long time. Two, has had like an attempt at a bigger budget, like third person, like Elder Scrolls wannabe game before Original Sin was kickstarted and successful, called Divinity 2. So
Yeah, wasn't that game awful?
no, it wasn't awful, but let's say it was a very
It
different
was
Larian
worse.
back then.
Okay.
It was definitely Eurojank. They were biting off more than they can chew. There was 2 more versions of it that they released, and it got to like a decent place. It had potential.
Okay,
This
am
is
I
definitely
crazy?
You could turn into a dragon and fly around the world.
Am I crazy, or did Larian say after Baldur's Gate 3 came out, they were like, okay, don't expect another game like this again. We're moving to a different model where we're developing multiple smaller projects in conjunction.
I don't remember that.
I don't recall
I
that. I do
remember
remember
that.
them saying
Possibly.
that they were making a new engine.
We knew it wasn't Baldur's Gate 4, at least.
but this is
we'll see.
definitely the first post Baldur's Gate 3 project, and that's obviously going to have an effect. But
They've
still,
already
the trailer was
confirmed
really
that
cool.
it's gonna be turn based and have like multiple party members.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's cool. I mean, hey,
And
the
let me
question
tell
is,
you,
where
that
do they get their artistic inspirations?
Oh no.
Just
Here
kidding.
we
Let's
go.
move on. What's the next topic?
Oh my god. Forest 3 I put on here purely because
oh, that looked wild.
it was like a
It was
complete
like
tonal
It
shift.
was a surprise, at least.
Sons of it's the same. So the forest, Sons of the Forest. The Forest 3 is a like futuristic, like takes place on like an
Spaceman?
alien world. Yeah, it's like
You're a spaceman with a ray gun
Yeah.
on another
Yeah.
That's the
planet?
thing.
And a
You
Death
would not
Stranding
think it's
arm.
sci-fi. Well, there's the arm and there's the gun, and then they do this like effect around like the creatures. Like you wouldn't think it's science fiction if it didn't have like the
The
computer like
zapper.
no. There's like
Dude, look at the gun.
like force cube like cylindrical force fields around like the various enemies occasionally. It's very weird. Watch
I'm
that
not even
trailer
certain we
again.
were looking at a video game, honestly.
What is that effect? Like a holographic like science fiction cylinder around the enemies occasionally. And it's like
it
okay.
doesn't look like the
That's
forest,
the
but that is pretty cool and bold, and I like it.
It was a
They
surprise.
showed a trailer for Gang of Dragon, which looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
So stupid.
Fucking audacious motherfucker.
So Nagoshi
wait.
left
Explain this to me.
Sega. So Nagoshi, who was, like the dude.
Ryuga
what-
Gotoku?
Yeah. he was like basically the father of that Yakuza series. He's been at Sega for a very long time, and he was the producer on that series the whole time. And he left like I don't know a few years ago to kind of like a lot of older like Japanese like directors and like producers who have been at these companies for a very long time started leaving them and like getting bankrolled by like a Chinese studio. So like, hey, come make that same game again, but we'll give you way more money because Japanese business culture and they don't pay well
Nope.
from what I understand.
Nope.
So like it was like a good on him, but what is he gonna make? Is he really gonna get a team together? Well, he did, and he's making a Yakuza game. It looks so much like a Yakuza game.
I
And
just assumed this was part. I assumed this was from the same studio.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, it
And this
looks
is
like
not to be
a Yakuza
confused.
game. Yeah.
This is not to be confused with the other game that looks like a Yakuza game. What was that one called?
From the Yakuza devs. That's
From the Yakuza
Stranger Than Heaven. Or
Stranger Than Heaven.
Stranger
Than
yeah,
Paradise?
Stranger Than Heaven. No,
I
Stranger.
don't remember what it's.
No.
Y'all know what y'all know
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
talking
Heaven
about.
Strange.
I forgot
What the
about that.
fuck is that called?
There's no
He's
shortage of Yakuza.
Stranger Than
calling-
Heaven.
He's
RGG's
calling his
been-
game Gang of Dragon when he came from a franchise called Like a Dragon. Like that's fucking just absurdly
about
audacious.
gangs.
So good. So good.
It's a bad name though. Like maybe it sounds
It's not bad in Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. It probably sounds fucking badass. in Japanese.
Everything sounds stupid in English when you translate it from Japanese.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next on my list, I have Mega Man Dual Overdrive, which I thought was noteworthy because it's a 2D Mega Man game, right? And it has like kind of like the
Yeah.
Mega Man Legends
Well, so
art
Capcom
style.
recently said that they're gonna try to like prop Mega Man and
Want Mega
they said
Man
a couple
back.
other franchises as like core Capcom franchises again. And they said that like last week or 2 weeks
Well,
ago. Like Mega Man was one of them. And
they
then
know
they
what they
lead
have.
with
There you go.
this, which looks
And
like
that's
just it doesn't look great. And it's a 2D Mega Man
Oh.
game. It looks like kind of like I would have liked them to have said that, and then they show like a really ambitious Metroid
What they
Mega Man
needed
project, like a
was
3D Mega Man
Legends
game or
3.
like a Mega Man Legends game, or if they led with the Mega Man remaster. Like they've been doing a really good job with like their collections and stuff recently, and they have really interesting Mega Man games that people would love to see come back. But
Which
no,
they just
do
announced another collection.
another side-scrolling Mega Man game. And like the part that has me kind of sour on it is it's 2027. Don't show a Mega Man game that looks like that and then say it's not even coming out next year. That's just whack.
The
That's just
one
whack, dude.
I put it on my list because I know nothing about Mega Man, but I like the way it looked, so I was like, eh.
I mean, it's just it's
don't
more
know.
classic Mega Man. Just it's 2.5D. The cool thing I think about it is that they're doing like they did way back in the day in the 80s and 90s with the Design a Robot Master contest. It's now worldwide now. So someone's going to win a design contest, and that's going to become a boss in the
Oh,
game.
I've been seeing a bunch of those on Twitter, and like some of them are pretty cool. Like that is
Sure.
kind of exciting.
Remember when they did a design contest for Mega
For
Man
Silk Song?
Legends 3?
Oh.
Yeah. But they also
Moving
like
on.
yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Dungeons and Dragons Warlock. What the fuck is that? Who knows?
Oh, I didn't put that on my list, but who the fuck? That's mostly because I didn't know what the
It's
fuck it
gonna
was.
focus on multiple types of magic, Nicholas.
And it's Trisha Helfer. That's awesome.
Trisha Helfer's voicing the main character, Nicholas. And I think it's
We do like Trisha Helfer.
Forgotten
do.
Realm.
Who is Trisha Helfer? Remind me.
She's the blonde Cylon
Uh,
from Battlestar
In the
Galactica.
red dress, the tall Cylon from
the-
Battlestar.
she's
I've
an
never seen
actress.
Battlestar Galactica.
But if you've even seen like
seen
a single still
Oh.
from that show, it was probably Trisha Helfer in a
you-
red dress.
Did you
No, I'm
see
pretty sure
Burn
the only
Notice?
still. I'm pretty sure the only still I've
She's in
seen of
those.
You
Battlestar
did not
Galactica
see
is
Burn Notice, you fucking psycho.
Edward James Olmos.
What's wrong with Burn Notice, motherfucker?
Nothing's wrong with Burn Notice. I love Burn Notice. Nick did not watch Burn Notice.
He's
I
really-
have
everyone
seen plenty
should
of Burn Notice.
So say
She's in
we
like
all.
one of the
Let's
later
move on.
seasons.
Burn Notice is one of those shows that Robin has watched a lot, so I
She's
have.
a blonde lady who acts for a living. You've seen her.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look her up.
Yeah.
Next, I have this is Ontos. This is the next game from Frictional, which I'm a big Frictional
They're actually going to space
So
this time and not, faking us out that it's the under the ocean. Cool.
hey, yeah, I feel
You
like you're
still like
taking digs at
frictional.
Soma. I do
Frictional, I
like,
feel like
dude.
has been a little inconsistent, right?
Amnesia the Bunker was one of my favorite games that year. Like I think I love frictional games, even though they're not like I was on Rebirth and whatever, but they made the Dark Descent. Of course, I love
Yeah. And
People
frictional,
like
like
and I love
Soma a
Soma.
lot.
I love Soma, but mostly for what Crispy was alluding to, which is
The
like
ending is like
one of the best,
true
one of
psychological
the best
terror.
endings I've
it's,
ever.
it's traumatic.
It is traumatic, and it's traumatic in a way that I feel only could work in a video game, and
And
that was
in
pretty cool.
retrospect, like thinking back about Soma, yes, the story was really interesting. The ending was fucking traumatic, and I know people had issues with the actual like horror aspects of the gameplay, but like when it's the next game from like after you've made the Dark Descent, which is like a goat as far as like the horror genre goes, like it can only go so far. Like you can only hope, but you're probably not going to get
Yeah.
there, and they didn't get there.
Remember this
With
shit?
Soma?
Do y'all remember this shit? This was when Mega Man was gonna be a. Look at
Oh, the
this was
Armature
so
project,
cool.
the X
The
Hunter.
Armature came, Maverick Hunter, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
leads from Metroid Prime left Retro Studios, formed a new studio, and their big first project was gonna be
Mega
a
Man.
reboot of Mega Man.
They were
That
like,
was
wait a minute,
basically
he's got
like Metroid Prime.
he's got a cannon on his arm, like
Dude,
Samus.
no, he's. I mean, so
Well, I
is
could see
Mega
how
Man.
this new Mega Man would be disappointing then after seeing something like that.
Honestly,
Dude, Mega Man in a Metroidvania game would be perfect because, like,
yes.
the whole point of him is that he like steals powers from bosses he defeats.
Yes.
Anyway, we don't have to talk about that.
Hey,
Two
they
Star Wars
announced
games. Let's talk two Star Wars games real quick.
Star Wars: The Fate of the Old Republic is what they opened with, and
Which is a
let me
trailer
tell
and
you,
doesn't exist. We're not going to even think about it until we see it because
Yeah, that's
we
the
know
thing.
how
This
these
is like
things go,
forever away.
and we don't believe it until we see it, right?
I mean, that is true. But can I just say, bringing back Knights of the Old Republic with Casey Hudson from Mass Effect,
But it's not KOTOR.
It's
It's
not
not
KOTOR.
KOTOR.
It
No,
Who's
just takes
publishing
place.
this game?
It just takes place in the Old Republic
Yeah.
setting.
Right.
Who's publishing this game?
But when you put when you make a title like that, people have certain
Lucas,
expectations,
or
right? They're gonna.
LucasArts.
We don't know, but like I
There's
feel like it's a
certain-
safe assumption that this is going to be treated as like a follow up to Knights of the Old Republic.
But this isn't.
Yeah.
But like EA is. I mean, I'm saying like there's certain things they can't do. They could probably barely get away with even the name, right? Who's publishing this?
Yeah,
I'll look
I don't
it
know, but hey,
I think it's LucasArts. or
But
whatever.
it's not like EA. It's not BioWare. So
No,
I know
it's,
Casey Hudson's involved, but like he also said that there's going to be like it's an action RPG, right?
yeah, I
Isn't
mean
that
he
what
made
said?
Mass Effect, so yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but I mean, like, I don't know if people should expect KOTOR. They definitely want people to be thinking KOTOR, but
Yeah,
know.
which
We
I think
played
is fair. I mean,
KOTOR
that's
3,
enough.
4, and 5. Remember
That's enough.
in
That's-
the Old
Yeah,
Republic
it's
MMO?
being-
Shut the
it's
fuck
being
up.
published
yeah.
by Lucasfilm Games.
It is.
It's
Okay.
being developed by Arknaut Studios, who I don't know who that is.
Is that
It's a new studio run by Casey Hudson.
Yeah.
The other game is Star Wars Galactic Racer, is the one you wanted to talk about, right?
Galactic Racer, Sebulba's back, baby.
Now
Did people
that's
really want
pod
Sebulba
racing.
back? Who cares?
Yeah,
No
'cause
one
it's
wants Sebulba
funny.
back. Just because he's in that trailer doesn't mean people wanted him back. It's
Yeah,
just-
but now that they realize he might be back, they realize it is what they wanted all along.
Of
They
course.
were like, "You're
that's
right.
fact.
Oh my god, Sebulba. Oh, he walked on his hands and used his feet as hands. And then he said like Poldo when he lost, and we were all like, oh, because we were 8 at the time, and we were like, this is a great movie.
Okay,
and his,
we
and his
didn't
pod
know.
racer went, and you were like, whoa, the sound design is crazy in this.
that was actually really impressive, Crispy. That on all
The
fronts,
pod racer
all of the fronts that you just
It's
brought. That was
Sebulba, come on.
I literally though can't tell if you're actually excited about this or not.
Uh,
That's a no. It's a
I
no.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Between the 2 Star Wars games announced, this one is definitely a game, and
I
looks
mean,
like
it's
I
more of
could
a
be playing it soon, and, like,
yes.
could be fun, right?
That is true.
That, like, flashy little, like, aura farming vibes trailer for Fate of the Old Republic is like, "Okay, talk to me when you have something," you know?
Yes,
Just a
that is
reminder,
true.
Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dream was announced at the Game Awards in 2021.
Man. So when
Dude,
when I
that game's
when
gonna
I thought
suck.
that that's what this game was when we
Yeah.
saw
No, but
that it was Star Wars.
nope,
What else was at this
nope.
thing?
And
Like,
the last two things I have on here that I've highlighted are both the Tomb Raider games, which are
oh,
big deals that I wanted to talk
there's
about.
one that you didn't mention. It's called Orbitals, and it's like, what if Split Fiction wasn't made in dreams? No, like, what if Split Fiction had like a really amazing '80s anime art style? Like, do
I think
y'all
I might have
remember
missed
that one?
this.
Look up the
Oh,
trailer
yeah,
for
yeah, 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 it looks
Orbitals.
like an
It looks
old, like,
sick as
Saturday morning
fuck.
anime kinda thing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, that looks really
It
good. The
it
24
looks
I will
frame
sick.
check
animation.
that out.
Yeah.
Also,
Orbitals.
I think it's really I mean, that looks cool. I would love to see more of it. I think it's really weird how none of you are talking about how excited you are for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight
Oh, I just don't have a
because
list in front of me. It does look really
because
cool.
that
Oh,
looks
I
like
did
the
see this
next Arkham
thing.
game. It looks sick.
That's
Like,
true.
but you can
Unfortunately.
play like every Batman character that's ever existed. You can drive like any Batmobile that's ever existed.
Who's
Pretty cool.
developing it
It's
though?
all Lego.
Who's
You think
Hey,
developing it?
I'm pretty sure I watched the trailer for Orbitals and I thought this does look cool, but it's a co-op game, so I was like,
Yeah.
But no, it's a
it's
split. It's like It Takes Two,
split
which you
screen.
love.
I do love,
You're
yeah,
like,
and
if
it is
only I had a
cool.
wife to play
It's
this with.
no, like you have to understand. You have to understand that It Takes Two was a massive, massive success, and there was like this was not even the only like co-op game at the Game Awards this year that were like split fiction knockoffs or like It Takes Two
Yeah,
knockoffs. Like
the
you're gonna
trend.
keep seeing these because that game was weirdly successful.
Yeah, for you're gonna see him for a while.
Weirdly successful.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it. They announced two Tomb Raider games, which is
Yeah, which is surprising, right?
surprising because one is a remake of the original called Legacy of Atlantis.
Being
Whatever that
developed by
Uh,
means.
Flying Wild Hog, which is the developers for Shadow Warrior.
yeah,
And
which is
other
an unusual
things.
choice, I suppose, but like it's
Well, I mean,
also
it
the second
depends.
time
Like,
they've
what
remade
is
this
the?
game.
That's supposedly coming out this year. I'll believe it when I see it, of which we didn't really see much of it.
This year, as in next week, or what?
Or no,
2026.
Oh, okay.
2026. While
Catalyst
Catalyst is,
is 2027, according to
which
this.
by the way, ominous subtitle. I gotta say,
Catalyst.
yeah,
Why?
because Mirror's Edge Catalyst was a series that was gone for a long time. They're like, oh, we're finally bringing it back. I hope y'all care. Y'all better care. And then
I
no one bought
cared,
it.
for the
No
record.
one bought
I
it.
fucking
I
cared, and it was my
I
second
just hope
favorite
that
game of
doesn't
that
happen
year.
with Tomb Raider.
Yeah, but Mirror's Edge isn't Tomb Raider,
Yeah.
right? Also,
Creative
It, it,
Dynamics.
isn't it great that they showed off two Tomb Raider games, both of them with Laura Croft, and it looks like she's just two different people in both games. Like
well,
that's
one. I
Or
she
every
mean,
just
Tomb Raider
looks
game.
different.
she
Every
does look.
Tomb
I mean,
Raider game.
No,
She looks different.
I kind of like that there isn't like much that they aren't.
it is.
I don't want to say
I think it's
consistency,
cool
but
that
like
they're making a distinction, a clear
yeah,
distinction between like one style of Tomb Raider game and another, which I kind of
They've done
dig.
that before, right?
Laura
They
Croft.
did that
Yeah,
with when Anniversary was in development
I know,
alongside
yeah, but it's
Underworld.
but
like
just this idea that
it's
Laura Croft is any brunette lady in a green tank top, like,
Well,
is
there's
kind of
also the fact that number one, it's two different studios, but number two, that like this is canonically like after Underworld, which is the latest Tomb Raider game canonically. So like
she
it's
had
a
work
difference of
done.
like decades, pretty much.
but also like in
Tomb Raider
like
was also
Catalyst
stupid.
is not the style of Tomb Raider where you're gonna see her doing like the elaborate handstands like as she pulls
Why do you
herself
say
up
that?
from the ledges. I just don't think it's gonna. I mean, like you because she didn't do it in the Catalyst to me, based on the trailer that we saw, looks more like it's intended for people who were who were is more similar to the games that we more
She
recently got. Like,
specifically left her bow on that bed or whatever. Like she didn't bring it with
Yeah,
her.
Left it behind.
that's true.
This
Like
ain't.
I don't know. I think we really have no idea kind of what vibe they're gonna
well,
be
I think
chasing.
I think
I
Catalyst
think
is
the
a
worst thing
reboot.
they could do is is make people think that it's anywhere near like the similar vibes as the Survivor trilogy, because like those got so tired by the end of it.
Well,
This
no. I'm
ain't
just
your
So
saying. I'm just
Gen
saying. Like,
Z cousins Tomb
I
Raider.
I do think Catalyst is a reboot of Tomb Raider, and it's going to
yeah,
be. It's not a follow up to those 3 Survivor games, but
yeah.
I do think it is more like it's probably going to be a little bit more leaning towards like realism and like as far as like it's just like the Laura Croft from the Survivor series. She was never going to be doing the crazy handstands. I think
I
this is
mean,
more
I think
along
he's
those
too old.
lines.
I don't
Not
think
that she's
that's
too old. It's just like it's ridiculous.
She was a
It's utterly
gymnast.
For someone
ridiculous.
her age to be doing handstands. I
Laura
agree.
Croft was a gymnast. I don't know.
Too
She had
old.
like a
Yeah, it's
fucking
unnecessary. How's that? It's unnecessary, but
Was
it
her
looks cool.
man.
was
So
her
It's
family
iconic.
involved in tomb raiding before her, or
kind of, yeah,
Course.
yeah,
canonically
they're
speaking.
archaeologists.
Yeah.
and
You
that's why
know.
they're British, right? Because they just like
Yeah.
Yeah, the British
steal
Museum,
cultural
that's what they do.
artifacts
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
they need
Uh,
like people don't want that Survivor Laura vibe. They want old Laura back,
I
confident.
think the implication from this trailer, though, is that this is going to be kind of more of an open world style game. Like
Yeah.
like
Sure.
the
Like
way the trailer
how do you even
ends.
make a video game that's not that
Yeah.
anymore? Like where
Well,
they can make a level based Tomb Raider? Like
I
the
mean, the Survivor games were not open world.
yeah they were.
Not this is not what I'm talking about when I say open world.
So what
I mean they
I'm
weren't like GTA, but they were like open world like a Metroid game, right?
No,
what I'm so
Right?
I
what I'm
wouldn't say
thinking
that.
here, what I'm thinking here
Mm.
is that because they announced these together, they've been in co-development for a while, probably 3-4 years at this point. My thinking is that Legacy of Atlantis is based off the same exact tool set and gameplay mechanics of Catalyst, but it's level based. And Catalyst's
That's a
development
stretch.
influences. Is it really though?
I think
They
it's a
literally
stretch.
announced the games together.
I know, but I think they're speaking to 2 different generations of or 2 different distinct types of Tomb Raider fans. They're
I'm not
making one
certain.
game for fans of the original, and they're making one to kind of like carry the torch from the Survivor series. Like I don't think those games are going to be similar or connected in any significant way.
I
I
think
think they're
one's
just
probably just trying to
2 different
reignite
games.
the
Please,
interest. I think it's like a
Survivor Series
smaller
should be called
project.
the Green Arrow series.
I think the remake is probably less big of a remake than they
I
want
think
us
it's
to
going to feel like
believe.
Anniversary.
Like
I mean, it
how
looks like a remake of
Anniversary
Anniversary.
did
It's a remake
back
of a
then?
remake. I think it's a remake of a remake, which is kind
You
of
think they're remaking Anniversary? Well, I don't think they're doing
more
that.
or
I don't
less
think so.
like
I mean, that game came out in like 2007 or something. I mean, it's old or something.
that's why you remake it. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. Whatever it is, it's like I think it's going to be much less ambitious. But I think it's for I think there's for the same people. Like they want Tomb Raider to be, it's like a
I think it's
Silent Hill thing. They want
what I'm
they're
saying is I
trying to
think
bring it
they're
back with
making
multiple projects.
they're bringing it back with multiple projects, but one is trying to like show maybe newer fans of the series a different side of the franchise.
I think, like
They
honestly,
have 2 different
between what you
distinct
just said and
vibes.
what Chris Davis just said, I think we are drawing way too many conclusions off like almost no info. So
I mean,
I
it's
think this
fair.
is like
Yeah.
a wait and see. I mean,
It is a
we
wait and
just
see, but
have no fucking
considering
clue.
going into the Game Awards, there were rumors that they knew Tomb Raider was going to be there, but there were rumors that they were announcing a remake of the original, and I was like, well, they've already done that, so if they just announced a remake of the original and that was it, it would be kind of disappointing. So to see them come out of the gate with 2 very different, theoretically, very different projects
What
is
if they
kind of
dropped them on the
exciting.
same day? What if they dropped them on the
They're
same
not
day?
gonna they're not gonna do that.
Dude. In
And
1994, Nintendo released Super Metroid. It was gone until 2002, and they released Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion on the same day. It was like
That's
one
true.
of the
I don't
greatest
think there's that
video
big of a
game days
chasm.
of all time.
I don't think there's that big of a chasm in like their scope and budget.
And I do want to throw
Whatever.
out there that some of the news that hit this past week is that Virtuous, the developers that were behind the Oblivion remake and the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake,
Yeah, both of them like shit.
they were at one point working on a remake of Tomb Raider Anniversary in the Shadow of the Tomb Raider
Whoa.
engine.
Wait, what? What does that even mean?
I'm just saying
So
they were working
do you think this project got like passed off? That
I
project got passed off?
I think there's a good
Because
chance of that.
I think this could be a like Blue Point style remake of Anniversary. It's possible. But I don't know. She was swinging from like moving
It looked like the
chandeliers.
trailer
You
made
don't
it
do
look,
that in Tomb Raider.
dude. But it does look like that one is going to be very much like they're bringing back like high stakes platforming.
Oh, I don't know if we know much. Again,
I
we
mean,
don't know much information. I think we're lingering on stuff we really
sure.
have no idea. Unless I miss some press releases. Like I'm curious
No.
what this is, but like I'm only thinking it's going to be less than because it comes out this year, essentially next year. But yeah, I am curious. You know, I love
I'm
me
excited
some.
about it.
I mean, y'all know how I feel about the series, so it'll be complicated for
Yeah.
sure. You know, maybe we'll have a 45-minute discussion about the new Tomb Raider game when that comes out. I do
We will
Probably.
have a discussion.
I
um
will
I-
have played that game.
it's funny because when I think of classic Tomb Raider, it's some of the same things I look for in a Metroid game.
Fact. That is a fact.
Atmosphere and not many people to talk to.
All right. That's it. That's all I had on my list. I
Hmm.
thought it was a pretty good turnout as far as like announcements go. I was writing down lots of stuff. I was like, ooh, I like all of these things. Not all of them. I didn't care much for the what was it? High guard
What about
thing at the end.
Saboba?
Leon is back.
I'm
I
on the
don't know.
fence.
It was very like dark and gritty, and like I
They
let
had a
Henry stay up for an hour so he can watch some of it, and man, there was like nothing for him. Fucking
well,
Yeah.
I could have told you that. They also had a trailer for for 007 where they showed that fucking
The new
oh
villain.
my god, the villain who is played
Oh,
by
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny
Yeah,
Kravitz.
yeah.
Thank you.
What? Why?
Which I was like,
Why?
that's random.
And he came out on stage. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was unexpected. but-
If we do a show next week, which I still think we should really try out the Pragmata demo because that was announced and released.
Oh, that's right. There's a Pragmata
what the?
demo.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
Game's weird.
Yeah, maybe we should.
I was
Anyways, that's all I
not-
got.
Y'all don't
Game
wanna know
Awards.
what's out there.
We can wrap this up.
Okay.
It's getting late.
It is.
Probably no time for a 4-player minute.
No, of
That's
course
pro-
not.
That's my fault.
I have to work
All
tomorrow.
right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll keep you abreast of whether or not we're going to do a show next week or not. If we don't, we'll see you in 2026.
It'll most certainly be a one segment show if we do.
Yeah, I think that's safe to assume. And I'm going to keep streaming routine probably this weekend, so keep an eye out for that. And of course, if you're not in our Discord, please join us there at discord.gg/4player. We would love to have you there. And yeah, video games, crazy. Shit's wild.
They still make them.
All right. They still make them. We'll
Be
see you
good
guys
to each
later.
other and fuck off.
Exactly.
Is that what we say? Is that what we say?
That you nailed it.